Who bring the vibe?
The Clash Reloaded.
Support development.
The Clash Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the fact?
The Clash Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Clash Reloaded.
Support development.
The Clash Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can. The Clash Reloaded. We are online every day.
Every day.
Hey. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they making the way. The Clash Reloaded, we shining today.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, hey. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The Clash Reloaded always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The Clash Reloaded,
Truth.
Liberia rising,
Progress.
JMB and JKK,
Develop.
the rescue mission, we move soon.
The Clash Reloaded.
True,
Liberia rising.
progress.
JMB and JKK.
Develop, the rescue mission, we move soon.
Welcome to the show. I see you guys complaining about YouTube. I didn't play anything here that will trigger any kind of copyright issues. I see YouTube still on here. I don't know what's going on. I've had maybe 2 or 3 people already mention the issue of YouTube, but I still have about 93 people watching on YouTube live right now, and I got 1,965 people actually watching from Facebook live right now. So I don't see. Okay, I see one YouTuber here, David Pele, is watching from YouTube. I see another one here from YouTube as well. I see Brandon Jealousy is watching from YouTube. I see Ducks Twine 6560 is watching from YouTube. So I have a couple of YouTube here. YouTube is still up. I don't know what's going on. Please restart your device. Look, my brother Zanga David, you're absolutely right. Most of the money you see on Facebook are fake money. People get it. Look, let me tell you something. Before I even start the show, when you see Liberian in Australia, Liberian in America, Liberian here in Europe, when you see that they don't get dressed good, that dressing where they dress, man, dressing here, it's not complicated. It don't mean they got money. You go to your late AJ Wright or you go to your Marshall, you can take $100 or maybe $150. You got a decent outfit, and you can still go from there. I am not kidding. I'm being dead serious with you, and I want you guys to know that. So you have to build something with somebody. Bill Carson, you're right. In China, they have this thing they call them leftover women. There's a whole market for them. They actually take the women to the market. The parents will take them to the market. But I just wanted the young ladies to continue to carry themselves with dignity and not cheapen themselves because they believe somebody will give them money, that the only way to respect them or that the only way they will take them seriously. If you don't get money, you don't get no love or this and that. That's fine. That's your life. But when you come in the open space, like my sister May said, no respectable woman will go out there and say that in the open. And I think we are letting too many things go. And people must understand we are intertwined in our society. If you present our society in certain fashion, it affects everybody else. I want to say welcome to the show, all you guys from across everywhere you are. Thank you so much. I still see YouTube on. I still see some people coming to the YouTube. So I don't know what's going on with some people. I'm not quite sure. But let me say big shout out to Class A FM out of Kakata. Thank you so much for always relaying the show, Class A FM. Radio Margibi, welcome to the show. Peace FM out of Habel. Bleach Radio, all the way out there in Grand Bassa County. Radio Kwatike, thank you so much out of Bangabon County. Premier FM, also out of Banga. Radio Gompa in Ganta City, Nima County. Radio Yalimba, out of Sekliapia, Nima County. Top FM out of Zwedru. Thank you for relaying the show way out there in Zwedru. Grand Jita County. Radio Sanlo out of Greenville, Sanlo County. Radio Butol, also equally out of Sanlo County. The ever-present Radio Butol. Thank you for joining us. Trust FM out of Bumming. Punch FM. Bourgeois Radio. My man, don't say we're not going to test. Look, I am not justifying anything, my brother. I will get to that point. Of course, I'm a man. I've had my dirt. I have my dirty days. Things happen. People, I'm not saying anybody is perfect, but what I'm telling you is, no woman will fool herself. and say me and the man are the same thing. Anything men do, I will do my own too. You cheapening yourself. I'm not even going to tell you that. I want people to understand that. Okay. And welcome to the show from across the country. I want to say big shout out to Emin. Emin Herman. Mr. Herman, welcome to the show. Metapla, thank you so much. Dolo Dolo. Rose Horace, good evening, family. But please tell me what's good about this evening. My question, I know Priscilla Clinton, Malan Clinton from Morrisville, Pennsylvania. How are you doing, Mama? Welcome to the show. I see a private chat here. Somebody sent a message. Is it possible that a viewer where periods will be full the technical glitches? There are challenges with the YouTube how to relog. Okay, so there is because I just got a notation from Harris here. Dwana West Poppy, man, my brother Anning Graham. Thank you, Tanner Cooper. Hey, Tanner, what's going on, man? More than one, at least 3 or 5. Ore Gawe, Mr. Gawe, how are you doing, sir? Stand side, people, car, and take picture. Like, hey, thank you, mama. So now you go say, some bad car. They say, oh, but what really enjoy it, America, man. No, I'm pushing cartoon. So don't let that thing fool you. And another thing, though, Liberian girl, let me tell you something. Yeah, you know the boy be calling December, eh? I tell one secret. Maybe I'll probably tell that secret. When I mean count for that 30 day, that mean for high employee, 3G or 5G a packet, eh? That ain't real money there. That mean in the country, you loan your account, you get good 200 in your account. So now the account is negative. In fact, most of the account is negative. I am not putting that man down. I'm telling you about the reality in this country. But when they make coming for that small day vacation, you get 3,000 in your pocket. The man budget, man, every day I will flex with 200. That big money. So they literally make up money, but he ain't got no money. The point I'm trying to make here is build with somebody where you got around you. You'll build something up and you got to stay loyal. Your loyalty is what will carry you to your old age. That's for both parties, both men and women. Your loyalty will carry you far. But if you distribute your loyalty where you're not loyal to one person and then eventually want somebody to take you seriously, you're your mom. And Ida Rosie, thank you so much. Sia Prince Alvin, welcome to the show. Joseph Cabal, Mr. Cabal, how are you doing, man? How's everything with you? Moses Freeman, Mr. Freeman. My own brother, Bill Carson, is always here. Phoebe Warranty. Marie Johnson. Marie, how's going on? Kudos to President Boyka. Yes, absolutely. That diagnostic center will go a long way. And I love where it's situated. I think it's right outside of Kakata or outside of Banga, one of those places where you can go to central Liberia. Let me tell you something. And sometimes I don't let us say this, but we have a right, a God-given right, to die near the people that love us. Look, the word nurse, if you're a nurse, a lot of people think a nurse is a noun. No, a nurse actually is a verb. It means to nurture back to health. So when you say, oh, the person is a nurse, okay, so you're nursing somebody back to health. So when somebody is sick, sometimes the way the nurse treats them, see, I can admit to this, she's a nurse. The way sometimes just a feeling from the nurse can make you better. In fact, treatment itself, good treatment, that medicine by itself. So when somebody way in India, all the people that love him, that person not around him, he can die sooner because he's far away. If they may go away to Ghana for treatment, all the people that love him, they're not near him, he will go far away. But imagine, God forbid, you're sick in Liberia and you're in Banga. Your people can come around you. They can talk to you. They can be around you where you can die in the midst of your own people, in your own country. It is very important. If you're old, God help you, you live a full life and you die with your own children, your own grandchildren, all of them surround you, it's a good thing. But when you die, we're in a strange land by yourself, in some kind of hospital room that you don't know nobody there, it's a horrible way to go. So this thing, we have to localize things that are very important to our society. And everybody, man, you're welcome to the show from across Liberia. And I will begin the show before the guys trickle in here. I know some people wanted to call in. You know what, Ron? I want to take a couple of calls from people that wanted to call in and chime in on this issue about what young women talk in the kind of way. Yeah, I'm going to actually open the line and 578 1963. And somebody sent me money last night for Cole. Let me just announce that person's name here before I forget. Yeah, Martha Harding. She sent me $100 for Cole. So Cole will have an additional $100 for you from Martha Harding. Thank you so much for your contribution towards Cole event from yesterday. I just want to make that announcement. Annie Graham, welcome to the show. Dwalu, please let us go back to YouTube. I don't know how. I believe they're working on it, but I don't know how. What happened to your YouTube channel, Dwalu? Louis, I am not sure what's going on with YouTube. We've done nothing here that will cause YouTube. It says YouTube is live on both. In fact, I put it on 2 pages. I put it on Senator Dillon's YouTube page, and I put it on the Class Reloaded page. And it say here it's live. They both say they're live. So I'm looking, both of them say I am live on YouTube. So I have no glitch notification from YouTube, nothing of that sort. So I will just open the line for a few minutes because the guys have not trickled in here yet. If anybody want to call, if anything want to talk about whether that bad thing or that bad thing regarding our young women in the country, how they talk about, I only sleep with men for money. If you get money, if you want love to me, I will cheat on you. I don't nobody, I don't this, that, a bar. Let me take the first caller here. Caller, 1 second. Let me plug this thing in. Caller, you're live.
Eduardo, thank you very much for taking my call.
Yeah.
Good, Eduardo. For me, I set my standard. I've been in this country since 1986, and I said the only time I go to Liberia when I pack all my things to move back. You think these white boys ain't giving me all that money here because I'm sick to be eating? You can't just go to Liberia, go look for a woman who don't have nothing to do. You don't get no damn farm. You don't get no business. You're not a nurse. You're not a teacher. So the money I get here, that way I will carry like Liberia, eat it from it. It's not going to happen. When you stay long in this country here and you go to Liberia, you become very stingy. And I think what you're doing like Liberia, I say you're beautiful, and you want to see beauty come to America. Ain't no dead beauty over there. Your beauty is being supporting yourself. These are the people there who don't go to school. They don't go to school. Young lady that I'm talking about, she can do this, she can do that. Even my days in school, when I go to school, high school, I'm not even going to look at you. Eduardo, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, calling, comment to the show. Look, people, I'm not targeting this young woman in any way, shape, or form. But what I'm saying here is we can't treat ourselves like that and diminish the country. Anybody else want to call? We'll take a 1 or 2 call to chime in on this issue. Regarding that young woman, we have to discourage this kind of behavior because they're not good for Liberia. Your body not for sale. Caller, you're live.
Hello, Eduardo.
Yeah, you're live on the show.
Yeah, Eduardo. If I would come from Liberia, from America, and go to Liberia to go look for a body, then you're crazy. We leave from Liberia, we leave from America and come to Liberia to look for someone, a woman I said in the market before. I will look for a woman selling right at that market before I follow a body. So thank you.
Before you follow a body, there you go. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from. Hey, but how are you doing, ma? Yeah.
I mean, I admire the guy for what he does. He's trying to promote Liberia, but I would plead with him and beg him, right? When those restaurants do nasty things, you just don't play it. Because people will think that how all the Liberian women looking. Because I like my power of 12 18 woman will not go from a stand naked after you shake it all, they're bending down, chewing between your legs. Your husband, your body is for the man who you have.
Yeah.
You know? And you can't want to say, look for your church, I really want to say, well, they get papa women who get big body, get blood shit. That was when you said it, they want to go. So it's all about money. And some of the men need to leave these young girls alone.
Yeah.
Just freaking leave them alone.
Yeah, I agree.
Young girls say, one change your oil.
Yeah.
What's my oil?
Yeah.
The men that got problems, the woman getting their problems. And so the parents who get sick, they're young children, and then selling to these men.
Talk again, mama. Talk again, Batu. Talk again.
I will rain down on you. You're not beginning to rain down on you because I had to stop. Look at it, drink and agreement. Oh, yeah, work here. Because you want to little games, so then let's see your baby. So we like Roscoe will check your problem. Women be independent. Learn to spend able for yourself. You may buy chicken soup, you buy the rest. You may buy oil, you buy tissue. That man will forever respect you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So then, no man, little guys, for what your parents are telling the children.
Yeah, they grow. Yeah, they found their own husbands and let's build a better community.
Every day, guess what? You shake it on yourself, yeah, try to open it.
Empty, yeah, empty drum. Talking Google, Badu. Thank you so much. Carlos, Azanga, I know you were calling. I'm trying to call you back, but another call coming through. Let's take 1 or 2 more calls, and then we'll go to the address show. I don't know why YouTube pulled this. I mean, most of you guys were here from the beginning. Maybe I said something. I don't know if I said anything. Maybe because what the girl said was not. She only said, I see women for money, but I don't know whether that would trigger YouTube to pull the video because we show nothing here. We play no music here that will call for any copyright issue that I remember. JMB song is an original song. It was just played for the 2 seconds. So it's not something that is copyrighted. So I don't know why YouTube will pull that. But once again, y'all, thank you so much. And I just want to bring people to understand something though. We say these things because we want people to fully understand what is happening in our country. Liberia is not something that we can attack from one angle. It has to be attacked from several angles. Now, to the young woman, I know people will send you the video and say, oh, they were talking about you today. And you say, oh, yeah, I was trending. No. There is something called being famous and something called infamy. It means you're famous for the negative reason, for negative reasons. You got to understand that. And I want people to understand this in Liberia. You are not by yourself. Anything you do as a Liberian, you're representing the entire country. I think they may have been about the military. I am not sure that recommendation. Maybe I mentioned the gun thing. Maybe that it could be, but I don't think I said anything bad. Normally, I try to be very careful because they have these sensors, so quote unquote, these algorithms. If they pick up a word that was said and maybe it get extracted, maybe that's what. So what I did was I uploaded the video again to some of the Dylan's page. But over here, both YouTube said they're live. They're both telling me I'm live and I'm public. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. So it doesn't show anything yet. Everything here is live on my screen. And I do have a few people here that are on YouTube. Like I just saw you guys right now. Even the person here is on YouTube. There's one person here on YouTube. There's another person here on YouTube. I have a few YouTube. There's another YouTube. Let me go up again. Another YouTube. So I don't know. I have, Bon Alice is on YouTube as well. We have another person here on YouTube. So I have a few YouTubers here, but I'm not quite sure what's happening with the YouTube. So look, the guys are coming in. And let me play this stuff from President Boakai, and I will begin the conversation. It seems that most of them are running late today. And let's play this video from President Boakai. This is important. I intend to spend a lot of time on this today. I know the issue in Foya is unfolding, and the government has already spoken about it. But I want us to listen to President Boakai, and I will have my position on this very topic.
The Ministry of Commerce has a lot to do, and I'm saying that, I'm not emphasizing it. That ministry has a lot to do in terms of food products that come to this country. I see a lot of friends, they are kind. Oh, when Christmas comes, take chicken. We're not here about chicken feet. We are a country that used to produce chickens. And some of these chicken bringing hearts of this and that. We are not here to throw away things to our people. So that ministry will have to get forceful. They got to work and make sure that the Liberians get the products that are consumable, products that are quality. It's not a dumping ground. And so if we haven't been doing it, let's know the importance of that ministry to the economy. Of course, we've been able to the committee headed by the VP to reduce prices because a lot of things have been going wrong in our place there. People just producing. The business people are ahead of us. They're very smart. It's what they call hitting inflation. You can do it in many ways. You can make toilet tissue look big, but it's not properly compact, and then you can cut down the quantity of perfume in the soap. It's still hitting inflation. You think you're paying for the thing, but not the same thing you're paying. we have to be able to tend to make sure that we get quality for the money we spend. And I hope that that emphasis with the ministry is enough.
We must get quality for the money we spend. Thank you so much over here. Somebody say it's actually on Senator Miriam Tama Gardner say it's on Senator Dillon's page. So if you go to Senator Dillon's page on YouTube, it's actually on Senator Dillon's page as well. So please check it out. I don't know what's happening to that page. Check out Senator Dillon's page. It's also on that YouTube page from Senator Dillon. And I want for us to, if you want to go there, please check it out. I don't know what's happening to our original Facebook, Class Reloaded Facebook page on Senator Dillon's page. The president was talking about the issue of chicken feed in Liberia and about quality coming to the country. A lot of times in Liberia, we believe we're supposed to eat remedial things from from around the world. When they bring wet chicken in, they layer them where it was meant for disposal, they bring them to Liberia. They make our people sicker. The president recognizes that. Chicken feet, we're not so be eating chicken feet. Although for me, I don't allow nobody, I love chicken feet, but it shouldn't be our entire protein source. What he's trying to say is we have the capacity to be able to generate these things locally. A lot of people here, maybe the grandparents were pig farmers, normal time. If you went to Lofa County, a lot of people did cow farming. And parts of Nima County, goat sheep, we can produce things locally in the country. But I love what he said about the Commerce Ministry. And my intention here is not to talk about the Commerce Ministry entirely, but as to say this, you have a great responsibility to the country. But before I even begin on there, let me read what the president posted today about Decoration Day from the Executive Mansion website. And I just want to highlight that and what the team from the Executive Mansion did today across the country. It's on the Executive Mansion website. It was posted some 4 hours ago. For immediate release, President Joseph Yuma Boakai honored Liberia's fallen leaders on Decoration Day with quiet, respectful tribute at their grave. March 11, 2026, Monrovia, Liberia. President Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr. observed Decoration Day with a solemn visit to the graves of Liberia's fallen leaders, paying respect to the nation's historical figures who helped shape its path. Accompanied by a small delegation on Wednesday, March 11, 2026, the president laid wreaths at the designated grave sites and paused for a moment of quiet reflection of each location. The quiet observance highlighted the administration's commitment to national unity, gratitude for the service of past leaders, and the ongoing responsibility to honor their legacy through service to the Liberian people. Decoration Day serves as a reminder of Liberia's founding leaders, ideals, and the sacrifices of those who built the nation. The solemn move reinforces a continued pledge to strengthen democratic institutions, foster reconciliation, and advance the welfare of Liberian citizens. The first grave site visited was the late President William V. Tubman on the grounds of the Centennial Memorial Pavilion grounds on Ashmont Street in Monrovia. Meanwhile, declaring of this day a national holiday, the president urged that the Memorial Day be used as a unifier and as a moment to reflect on those on whose shoulders the current generation of the nation is standing. So happy Decoration Day, if you want to call it that, or a quiet Decoration Day for Liberians across the country that went to their relatives, friends, family members' grave, and that is coming from the president of the Republic of Liberia. Let's go back to the issue as explained by the president. Yes, we are off YouTube. If you're coming late, go to Senator Dillon's page. YouTube will be on there. The president talks about people doing their job. It should go without saying. Everybody wants to work in government. I don't knock that hustle. I believe there is no greater way to leave your legacy in your country than to serve your people or in service to your people. But here's the thing, when the job is given to you, you got to do that job. You cannot be reminded of how you're supposed to do your job or how seriously you take your job. There is a tendency across our country where when people get a job, they get up in the morning, they wear biko suit, they go to work, and they do absolutely nothing that will advance the very position that they were clamoring for. You got to produce across the country. This is what the president is saying. And if you listen to the speech all the way to the end, you say, listen, nobody in this room is too. I mean, if they think they're more valuable that they cannot be let go, they will be let go. If something is discussed in that room, an agreement is reached, you cannot go outside and become insubordinate to what was discussed in that room. If you have an objection, discuss it right in the room to be able to understand what you have. There must be a forefront for the administration. So if a decision is made to go one route, everybody has to follow that decision. This is what the president says. So Liberian people that are in government, you got to produce. Every single entity across the country must produce. That was sometimes I find it entirely baffling that we have to reach out 50 times to get people on the airwaves. What is happening in your entity? Come and explain. Everybody coil away from what is being discussed. This platform was intentionally set up for people to highlight across the country what they're doing. Some people will say, oh, I'm not a public speaker. You're a public figure. If you're not a public speaker, you got to learn it, because you got to come and listen to your people and let the people hear what you're doing. Let people understand what you're doing in your agency. That goes for defense. That goes for the commerce ministry. That goes for LDA. We shall come over here. That goes for the police. That goes for every single agency in the country. But a lot of times, all we do is we just want to go to the office. We want to occupy the space. They will be calling you honorable all around, but you are not doing the thing that is required to produce for the people, primarily to produce for the people. To the commerce ministry, we won't know the medicine that come in like, bro, whether they can work. This is part of your mandate. And I know everybody always boils down to, oh, I don't have enough resources. You got to sometimes look for these resources yourself. You have to find a way to push to get these resources to do your job properly. I understand the government has to provide the resources to you initially, but whatever means you can employ that is entirely legal to get yourself some resources to produce for the Liberian people, you must do it. The job is not just sitting on your hands. It's not just sitting on your hands, especially at the commerce ministry. This goes for every other ministry across the country. Okay? Zanga Davis, I agree. The Ministry of Defense, we try to reach out to them. Nobody is returning our calls. We don't know what's going on. I don't know. You come over and you discuss what is happening in the country. You must discuss what is happening in the country, especially at the border with Foya. I mean, with the Guineans. Nobody knows what's going on. One of the things that really, really bothering me right now, most of the young men out of Foya, they have gone to the border. They are taking machete. They take BB collar. Someone they get single barrel gun. This is not safe. I understand they have to protect their village. I get that. But this is something that has been instituted and relegated to the armed forces of Liberia. We have to get the soldiers out there to make sure we do this properly. I understand yesterday I read a letter from the executive mansion that was published regarding this matter. But most of the young people over there in Foya, they're not going to read that. That this is being handled through the diplomatic channel. Now, if you have the Guineans shooting from across the river, now there's a Liberian that's been injured, that is a problem. There's a major problem. And initially, before you guys came on, I played the video. Let's look and see what is happening right now at the border. This is not safe. This is not okay. If the Guineans shoot again across that border, it could hit 3, 4, 5 people, and that could spill over into something different. The AFL must get out there immediately. The AFL has to be on our border. We can't say, oh, we don't have enough road. That's not sufficient. We have to get there quickly. If it means the helicopter that was recommended, we do that. But we have to get it. Look what the young men are doing all the way out there in Foya. This is not safe. I get it. I get the issue of patriotism. But this is now bordering on something that could lead to chaos. Something that we don't want. You could be right, Beatrice. You could be absolutely right. Maybe that's why they took the YouTube page down. That may be right. Absolutely. I just realized that maybe that's why they took the YouTube page down. But you guys are seeing that hopefully the YouTube page doesn't go down again. But if the algorithm picks it up, that's why they took it down. I'm actually going to take this video down because it's a form of incitement, I guess. Let me remove it from studio entirely. But I want people to understand. So we also did put a video up for the commissioner out of Foya. He had a conversation, and let's listen to him and let him explain exactly what is happening over at the border. Yes, we hopefully YouTube is on. Thank you so much, Gracie. At least it's back home, but maybe that's why that YouTube went down. It just hit me because I know we did nothing illegal that I could think about here. But with those call lights going up and you are muted. Are you sure? Can you guys hear me? I mean, why all of you messing with me here today? Everybody will come. If I'm muted, I'm pretty sure someone will tell me the video on YouTube shut down for. This is the video YouTube shut down for. Maybe it's true, Matadoki. I am not muted. I think people can hear me loud and clear. Let's listen to the commissioner out of Foya as he explained the shooting from across the river into the Liberian side from the Guinean soldiers.
In his legs.
Yes.
So where are you heading now?
Well, I'm heading to Solomar, crossing point where the incident took place, along with the police.
Yes, so that is a
So that is a force, and of course we are here in Foya district having a conversation with the district commissioner of let's say Foya district, and of course here he is alongside securities here in Foya City Bomai Hospital. So we are here, and of course making a way to the Solomba area now. So we are still here, and of course these are the ERU security personnel. So we are making our way through to Solomba checkpoint now. We are making our way through. So those of you that are following us from Lofa County, and I want to say this is Variety Online TV, where we bring you all of the happiness from Foya district, Foya Secretary district, where the situation is ongoing. So the two, let's say people are saying that two persons was killed in the process, but then what we are experiencing now, the commissioner is saying that only one person was harmed in the process. And of course, where we are now, we went to the two individuals. Let's say we went to the one person we saw, we went to him, and of course have some photos on him, having some conversation with him. So in the sooner possible time, we will be bringing you all of the happiness, all of the interactions that we had with the victim there, and of course he had to be transferred to Vonjama as it is. So those are our securities hailing now to Solomba checkpoint or to Solomba area there. So we are definitely going alongside with them, and of course, as you can see, so in a subsequent time we will be bringing you all of this audio, the interview that we had with them, and of course what happened already transpired, and of course you just heard the commissioner telling you about the situations involved, how the individual was hit, and in that process what really went on was that they have to transfer him to Vonjama now, because as the matter of fact, the bullets hit him, and those particles are staying in his legs, and of course from Foya to Vonjama. So here is it. We are to Foya Bomai Hospital. We are to Foya Bomai Hospital. This is Variety Online News. My name is Molu, strategy freeman, bringing you all of the happiness from Foya, Lofa County. So here is it, and of course the patient had to be transferred to Kola, let's say to Vonjama, to seek proper medication as it is right now. So we are hailing to Solomba checkpoint, and of course we will be with them, making sure to bring you all of the happiness from Foya district, Lofa counties. Just keep following Variety Online News. Just keep following Variety Online News. We bring you all of the secure information, all of the information you've been hearing, whether somebody was killed in the process, whether this happened, there was a shooting that was going on, yes, and as it is right now, only one person has been affected. Of course, the one person, according to the story, two was hit, and of course the little girl who was in Raj, was also affected in the process. So we will be bringing you all of the audios, all of the photos. Just be there while we are here, and of course pray that things can go on smoothly so that the situation.
Okay, as we can see, I guess the Liberian authorities are already out there on the border. Hopefully they put that under control very quickly. Somebody just told me there was a holiday today in Liberia. Maybe that's why the guys have not come on. I did not get that memo, but we will spend some time here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I will make sure we make fun of the show today. But the issue in Foya, there is a delay, and that delay has to be addressed going forward. That delay has to be addressed. The Department of Defense, they have to take control of this issue. I don't think it should take more than 3 hours to go anywhere in the country. I believe a few weeks ago, and Mr. Lake called into the show and said one of the reasons why our civil war lasted so long was because of lack of road. I took the other board didn't want or Mr. Lake called into the show regarding that issue. It's all because of lack of roads. So sometimes when something happened in a specific location, if you went to parts of Grand Crew County, parts of Sando, in fact most of Liberia, even Maryland, there is no presence of authority in these locations. And so when something happens there, it takes forever for the authorities to get there. You know, that one sometimes when people don't understand when President Bouaka talks about roads, the thing in road is just road. It has to do with security as well, not just the issue of economics, but it's the issue of national security. Because if we cannot get to this location very, very quickly, it becomes a major issue. That's why I will continue to advocate for these helicopters. Okay, these helicopters are very cheap. Like I said, they cost next to nothing. They cost $500,000. You can get literally everything you want on these helicopters. They cost about from $200,000 to $1 million based on what you want on them. If you want literally everything on them, it costs you around $1 million to $3 million. But if you want just machine guns on them, they cost you $500,000 a piece. These things are capable of transporting anywhere from 10 to 12 men. And that's an entire squad. Okay, you take 4 of these things, you get an entire platoon anywhere in the country in less than 3 hours. We must have these helicopters for Liberia to be protected, for our border to be protected. They can literally land anywhere. You can get a rapid operation there very, very quickly. These things move very, very fast. I think they travel well over 150 miles an hour. So you can get them over there very, very quickly. In no time, you can get 50 to 80 men dropped in very, very quickly to make sure everything is addressed. So we have to invest in these helicopters. They're very cheap. These things will get you anywhere in Liberia in no time. And I think the Department of Defense needs to consider that we cannot just be waiting for cars to get to Foya. It's been 2 days. I know the PSU already got there today, but 2 days is not. It's a long time for things to truly get out of control. We have to make sure this is addressed. Like I said, these things can get anywhere. Literally anywhere. You can put troops anywhere very, very quickly. And they're very cheap. Like I said before, they're MH6 Little Bird. They call them Little Bird. It costs between $200K to $700K. If you want the attack variant, they cost between $500K to $1.5 million. Now, the attack variant, they come with machine guns. Some of them come with Hellfire missiles. I mean, all kind of stuff you can really put on these things and get 12 men placed anywhere, anytime, very, very quickly, to make sure Liberia, our borders are protected. We cannot have this happening. Yes, we don't have the massive budget that the Guineans have. I don't know what the budget is. I read something somewhere yesterday. They said, well, the budget is that maybe $500,000 for the Guinean army. Yeah, they're a little bit much bigger population than we are. I think the Guinean population is approximately 15 million people. They're a little bit slightly bigger country in terms of the GDP that they put out. Yes, we're a small country, but we can still maximize the kind of equipment that we get for our soldiers to make sure there is rapid deployment anywhere in the country, very, very quickly. Like I said, these things are very good. They're used by the U.S. Army here. They put troops anywhere, less than 2-3 hours, anywhere in Liberia, they will be there. So that way we don't have this kind of things happening across the country. Where are we with the AU? Well, I'm not sure. I don't know entirely about that, but I just want to make sure we don't have this stuff on the border going forward, because we have a lot of work to do in the country that has to be addressed. I know the president spoke about this, but, you know, let's talk about Decoration Day a little bit. Today in Liberia, people are cleaning their graves all around the country. All around Liberia, they're cleaning their graves today. Like I said, hopefully my little brother went to our mother's grave to clean that place. You got the beginners on that one. You say them, go there. So he said it. But yes, what's happening in Central Monrovia, not just Palm Grove Cemetery. Most people that are around my age or higher, people never play in graveyards. We were afraid of them. In fact, when we saw dead bodies, we went the other way. In fact, the dead body car coming, we even believe ridiculously that if you point to your finger will get rotting. The little thing, that's what we used to believe. Now we get our brothers living in grave sites. This has been going on since the conclusion of our civil war. They have destroyed literally every tomb in the country. Our dead do not get rest. They can't rest. Since they die, people take their bones out to live in these grave sites. We have said this many, many times. I'm still wondering what agency is responsible for maintaining the graveyard across Liberia. And secondarily, the graveyard in yet chakla. No order of any kind. Go to any graveyard. Almost, I know there are some new graveyards springing up, and I know there are some private graveyards or cemeteries, if you want to call them that. Somebody Google it. What's the distinction between cemetery and graveyard? I think cemetery is what next to a church, and graveyard is the general name. Somebody look it up. I'm just curious. It just came to mind. So our dead body don't get no rest. People are complaining across the country. You bury your person, you come back, they take all the steel rough on it, they bust the graves, and nothing is being done. Every single decoration day, this happens. I don't know what's going on in the country that we no longer have this kind of order where people can allow the dead to rest in peace. Every single year. Let's listen to one of our brothers. Some of our brothers that went to the family member gravesite and see what's happening there.
Can you imagine, my people? This is my grandfather's grave. I came this morning. I met a guy lying down inside. I told him, I said, oh.
There you have it.
And I came back and I said, Chief, please excuse me. Let me clean your living room and dining room.
Well, my little uncle, the late Quater, he was SDA. And then he died, he got buried. I remember the last time we came, the site was not far from the road. Okay. But I've been there quite a long time now, I haven't been here. But I just decided to come to see how it looks like. Whether it's possible that we, trace the place and, build it, or it's a kind of place that the part there, there is no way that you can even get closer.
And what's your experience now? Is it possible for you to see the place?
I even trying to if I could remember, but I'm a little bit confused. But remember, we're not far from the road. So what I'm thinking about doing, they all about somewhere to Bannersville there. I want to get to him and see whether he can come around and see whether it's closer there where the part is dead, or it's somewhere around that we can still trace it.
The grave, there were two. The grave, our two. I will call a two. My brother must say because you ain't canal. I will call that two. The bill, yeah, that two. The church pay for it for her. Okay. So when is okay? Say that paint clean up. Ain't no 3 months 30 days. We is okay. We clean up. We just talk away our family. Can we sell over here? We eat to everything. But since we start coming the first time we again, the boss they took all the steel. All the steel are inside the took so we decided to just pay Jala and see Jala they pay Jala. Today now can
like a death trap.
Yes, I always come, but this last hour yeah, they were not boss. I only pin it to everything, but I keep this and see you go all around inside the boss. So I know what they're looking for. They're not boss at discouraged.
You can boss it. Well, at least grass can grow our own. But we can always pay. For this trade, we get money to say we want to cover it. So, we get continuing next year for our long life. We want to cover it.
Yeah, so that's what's happening in the country. And it's not just restricted to Monrovia, by the way. Most of the urban areas across the country, the young men are doing it, mostly young men. Yeah, there are some young women there too, but there's a lot more young men that are doing this. The dead will not rest. You go bury your relative. When you go by there, the body not there. Somebody, a living human being living inside the grave. I know they've spoken about it. I remember on Ellen Johnson's leave, they came in, they tried to fence the cemetery on Center Street. I believe that's where that's located. You forgave me. I'm not a Monrovia boy. They tried to fence it, but the guy still broke into that place. I know there is a talk to relocate the cemetery out of central Monrovia and perhaps turn that location into a park. I think that's a great consideration. In fact, a funny story, there was a lady in Providence, and I used to sell insurance. It was like my side hustle. I used to sell life and health insurance. So I went to the house one day, and they turned her, and she said she wanted to go home, but they turned told her about going home, and she said, no, yeah, man, I'm carrying home. But anybody can't put on my grave. Because and people actually doing that. In fact, in some community, the graveyards where everybody go and defecate. Everybody goes to the graveyard and defecate. We don't honor the dead anymore in our society. Nobody cares about this. This is a major problem for me and for any Liberian citizen. I know in Carisburg, there was a gravesite now open. It cost some money. Some people that can afford it, they're relocating their family members into an orderly place. You should be able to go to a graveyard. You see, my person name is John Flomo. I just give an example. If you're John Flomo out there, I apologize. Or Leaf Coconut. Leaf Coconut is my relative's name. And that Leaf Coconut, he's on Lot 7, row 15, number 17. So you can go to Lot 7, row 15, number 17. You see your family there. That's how it's supposed to be. Orderly. But you go to the graveyard, there is no space. People just build on top of each other. If you come late, they take all the dirt, they put it over your own person in the grave. Then you get mad. You take the same dirt, you put it over somebody on the grave. It becomes a major issue. Okay? I don't understand this. Look, Bill Carson, I mean, this is something the defense ministry have to. I'm pretty sure the Americans will not mind giving a few of these helicopters because they are so cheap. $500,000 or $1 billion piece, they can probably give a 10 of those. I mean, if we make the right claim, or probably not claim, but proposal to them, and how desperate we need this, I think that's something they might consider. I believe we asked the Americans, this is what transport the American army, and they're pretty, they're just meant for rapid insertion. They're pretty cheap, and that's something we can make a proposal to the Americans. So even the Europeans, some of them may have something similar, but I want something that can be cheaply maintained, cheaply transported, but still have that kind of effect. You can bring something that we cannot maintain initially. We got to work our way up there. So these helicopters can go a long way. But the issue of the grave sites across Liberia, we have to take it very, very seriously. We have to do more, because if we don't do more, there will be more and more issues pertaining to these things. I want to talk about Liberia before, but I really want you guys to help me out. With the exception of what happened in Foya, there's not much that happened in the country today. I scour around social media, the small news here and there. The biggest thing right now is in Foya. But this video about Liberia, the Africans used to come to, I want for you guys to chime in, not necessarily the call. I will use whatever you write in the feed. And how was Liberia where you were before the war, or before the coup, especially before the coup? Because it seems we've heard the great stories, not just from Liberians themselves, but from fellow Africans, that this is a great location. That's why a few days ago, when our Ghanaian lady said, Liberia, what Ghana discovered yesterday, I know she's an illiterate woman. She doesn't know what she's talking about, but it's just to drive the point home. That Liberia was a great place. People came to this location, not just for education, but for refuge, for literally everything. I'm old enough to know when the Ghanaians were pouring into Liberia. There was a period in Liberia's history where Malayans would come into the country. They would walk all over Liberia. Sometimes they would come with these massive camels. In Liberia, call them camel, right? They come with these massive camels, and they would go to Liberia, and then they would go to a different place. Literally, everybody came to the country to hustle. In fact, people still come into Liberia to hustle. But how do we get that Liberia back that we were used to? What needs to be done? One of the reasons why people say, oh, Tualu, why you support this government and you know this and that. Look at this government, what it has done. And whenever I try to tell people, let's compare and contrast, look at what this government has done on the span of 3 years. And compare that to any administration before. I asked the former political leader, what's his guy name? The former vice president's son. I forget his name. He's out of Lofa County, Moluba's son. Yeah, the former Dr. Moluba, asking this question. And his issue was, we need to do it quicker, which we all agree with. But I asked him this question. We're on Spoon together. The last time when I was on Spoon, can you point to any administration that has executed with this degree of quickness or rapidity, with this degree of quickness compared to anybody in Liberia's history under 3 years? He could not think about anybody. I support this administration not because it is President Bouakar in charge. I support this administration because what this administration is delivering to Liberia, it is not just delivering in one location. It is delivering in Grangeda County. Yes, it is. If you went to Lofa County, this administration is massively delivering in Lofa County. If you went into Bon County, there's a massive delivery program in Bon County. If you went to the southeastern, they're clearing some of about. Thank you, Thomas and Sumana. If you went into the southeast, there's massive delivery there in the southeast. So the development issue across the country, has tentacles all over the place. It's not just one location that it's being delivered to. President Bouaka believe he's punching far above the weight of Liberia, giving the resources. People have, it's very quick to forget that people forget what Liberia was. Literally 4 or 5 years ago, there was a massive hole that was dug. This is not politics. Look at all the numbers and all the indicators, all these other reports. A massive hole was dug. How do you get out of the hole, come on the surface to actually do something to deliver to the Liberian people? That was the task. And I think this administration has done a very good job on making sure not only were they digging Liberia, which they're still doing, but at the same time, they can walk and chew gum at the same time they were still delivering to the Liberian people. And I had people send me video, oh, Mr. Dwalu, we had to sleep outside yesterday with some of these structures that were being broken down in these alleyways. And I always respond to them. Do you belong in the alleyway? Yeah, we know we don't belong there, but where you expect us to go, we are Liberian citizens too. That cannot be your position. You can't say because you're a Liberian citizen, that like, you go look at Carolyn Lane, I built only as if I'm a Liberian citizen too. That's not how things work, our people. And the argument that people didn't get sufficient notice, that is not true. We all know this. That has been settled. I understand with these frustrations. Some people say, well, we should have built on public housing. Great. Let's build public housing. In fact, the great city of Boston is still struggling with public housing, with all the public housing that has been built. You cannot build sufficient public housing enough. Not with a $1 billion budget. Literally, we have no money. We have no money. How are you going to build public housing for every single person that came to Monrovia? How are we going to build the roads? How are we going to build the clinics? Yes, you can build some here and there. And yes, there are considerations being made to build some public housing across the country. But public housing is not the priority. The priority is road connection. The priority is to build the hospitals. The priority is to build some schools and put money into the schools. The priority is to secure the security sector across Liberia so people can be safe in the country. The priority is to improve the economy so people can be able to eke out a living for themselves. It doesn't mean government is responsible to give you a job, but government has a responsibility to create an environment where you can get a job in that environment. Then as the government raises more money, the government can focus on things that social programs that you're talking about, the public housing, etc., etc., etc. So when people say, well, let me just live on the alley, let's leave Liberia just a day because I live on the alley now and I cannot afford to build my house, you cannot bog down the entire country just for your one because you won't live in the alley. The issue of the alley is not because they want to move you. I'm pretty sure if President Bouaka or the Public Works Ministry can leave you in the alley and still develop Liberia, I'm pretty sure that consideration is going to be made. But one cannot be true while the other is true. You cannot stay in the alley while Liberia develop. For Liberia to develop, we got to open the alleys. And this is something that people must understand. We have to open these alleys. We have to make sure. So you say you want job, the alleys have to be open. There must be connection and a dressing system across the country. With LEC connections, you have to have access to these facilities. If you don't have a road going to the place, you cannot bring certain. Look, most recently, I have a dedicated transformer that was delivered about a month ago. Within 1 month, the transformer broke down. I had to call LEC. They brought a new transformer. The guy said, oh, Dwell, straight to your place. And I had to pave that road. So now, because the road is there, it's easier to put the transformer back up. But if you don't have road leading to the location, how are you going to put the transformer up? That means you cannot get it electrified. So everything is intertwined. And I want our people to understand that nobody's moving you from where you're squatting or where you are, but you are being told that for us to develop, we must do the right thing for this country to be able to grow. And this is the concept I want people to fully understand. And like I said, initially they spoke about the finance ministry, what is happening out there and how we can curtail some of this issue. This is what I'm talking about. I want to play lengthily into this and JMB something with referral, rehabilitation, not rehabilitation, but a diagnostic center that is being built. I believe we're outside of Kakata. That is being built to make sure people are diagnosed in the country for any kind of disease. Yeah. One of the reasons why we die quickly in Liberia is because of misdiagnosis. A lot of times, nobody knows what happened to them. What happened in that malaria? Not everything that malaria, plenty things. They got plenty sickness. I know some doctor will tell you, I don't know one type of sickness, but they got plenty sickness there that we don't even know yet. I would say 80% of making you healthy or making you well is to first know what's wrong with you. Let me talk again. All the doctors and the nurses in the audience, let me know. the first step to making sure you get better, they have to first determine what happened to you. For instance, you carry the child to the hospital, you don't know if the child started pancana, or you don't know if a poison the child, or you don't know snake boy the child that you don't know about it. You don't first determine what's wrong with the child. They cannot heal the child. Let's say they give you all the telemedicine, they give you all the drip, nobody will know. We have to have a diagnostic center. Every hospital should have one to begin with, because anywhere, any developed country you go into, they have to first determine what's hurting your head before they can give you head medicine. If we don't know what's wrong with you, there's no way they can help cure you. So this diagnostic center is very, very necessary. And I want to say a big shout out to the president. Let's listen to JMB song. I play it briefly in the beginning, but I want to go a little bit deeper into it. They place a massive facility to go in to be able to diagnose any kind of disease in Liberia when somebody goes to the hospital. Build a facility that is not just, it's a national facility. Hopefully we have regional ones in the future, but this will be a location where you can come and first get diagnosed, and then they know exactly what's wrong with you before you can go elsewhere. Liberia is getting better. We don't have a lot of money, but the money is being targeted in the right location for the country to develop. Look, development is like a puzzle. You got to find the right pieces and put them in the right location for the other pieces to be able to fit. Like you put a massive puzzle piece together, certain puzzle piece, you can put it in until you put something there around it. So it seems President Bwaka gets it. He's putting the thing there around it, which is the road connection, which is the hospital provision, the school connection, job creation, yellow machine expansion, security across the country. Once these markers are in place, the country's development will be quickened. And that is the whole aim. Let's listen to JMB's song as he goes around the diagnostic center. I kind of love it. It's a massive facility, and I pray it serves Liberia well.
See what President Bwaka can do. You break it, you face it. See it. La national clinical diagnosis and treatment laboratory lab. La ele building in Loyal Magibi. Can't see the way that President Bwaka doing. You like the video, you share. First, this is the parking lot. This is the parking lot. I hope I said you know my spot. This is the parking lot. Like here all the cars will be parking. Like here all the cars will be parking. Like here all the cars will be parking. Come you. Put it about you. Put it about you. I see what out of the way. I break down. I face it. He doesn't make a break down and leave it for her. A friend to come see it. No. He break down and face it. Come see. That the tire in here so. Please. You see so all the tire on the side. Come. Can't you? Can't see something for yourself. You see the tire. You see the tire. You see the tire. And all the places, now how the place will be. They will pour cement all year. Real concrete cement. They will place it all year. All year. This is the National Clinical Diagnosis Center here. You see the laboratory area? You see here, zoom all down. I see it almost to the finishing level. It almost to the finishing level. I see you. Can't see something. Can't see something. Vroom, bien.
Mama Liberia, yeah. We rising higher, moving forward.
Now how the area were looking? They were looking just a forest. But we tell us the government and people and about government here. So you see the whole area, we almost to the finish. And down at the express area. When I talk about the express, the Google data that will be working to the clinical area, so that the area here, and mostly the personal sponsor a little bit for them. I see your sponsor. So what the main sponsor? Oh God, the main sponsor will something for them to make them to live like a civilized. This is the president we want. See the main program for influence. So can see, you see they putting the zinc. I think they putting the zinc all over. You see, if you zoom in from outside, you see that area will be moving the air from the area. So that the express area, they will now data and will be working here. Then they own a horse here, and they resident here. When they move in the resident, cool in the EV, then they will come to the court fee. Then all around here, you see here, they will put street lighting all around to make the place more laughter. Can see it. So that they court here. You see the real concrete, you see that? So from the area, from the house, straight to the house, from the express area, they will walk in, they come to the court, and this is the court, the basketball court. Like here, they will be playing in the basketball, cool in the EV, then they get low or something. Oh, yeah, you see, and our place at the thing, they will face thing on the side, and they will face warehouse, and oh, yeah, this is the president we want. So that the power area here for the whole building. Can't see the power area. So come closer, bro. Can't see the power area. That here the thing will be. What's up, bro? So I show you to the power area. At the power area down there. And on the side, they will be wasting they will be burning all the waste product from in our area. They will bring it right here. They can't burn it. They burn it all on here. So you see here that junior system here. So here they will bring the waste product. They will burn it in there. And here that the power area here, you see, this is the government will call a civil lasting can. All here they will put cement all here. They put in cement all here. Street lighting all here. On the side of the 14th Military Hospital. This place is located in Lower Mangibi. This is Liberian National Clinical Diagnosis and Treatment Laboratory Lab. The president broke ground for, and you see how far they carry it. 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 You see how far. See how beautiful. Look at behind me. See a little bit distance. See behind me. See behind me. See how beautiful the place is. See how fun the place is. See how beautiful the place is. Y'all make sure you like the video. Y'all share the video. Asibo. Development Asibo. When you see one outside of the security booth on the side. Sibo. Y'all feeding my swag, yeah? I show you, I see they put the towel, everything on understand. Zoom it there. Show you there, let's see the building. Kuku, focus on the building. Come to the security booth. At the security booth here, when you come inside the security will ask you where you coming from. Show it on the side. Show it on the side. I see what last everywhere. You see the Asibo last, you see the whole year. I go to the security booth where you see the whole area. This is Liberian National Clinical Diagnosis and Treatment. The building in Lower Mangibi. This is Lower Mangibi. Yeah, Asibo all the way. Development.
I'm so proud. This is reflective of where or what we should use to honor our soldiers. Civilians use this facility as well. It's actually in the complex of the 14th Military Hospital, but it's a massive extension. It makes the 14th Military Hospital look like child's play. Let me talk again. When you look at the 14th Military Hospital and you look at the facility that's being built under President Joseph Yima Bouaka, you can't even compare the two. But what Bouaka has done, what President Bouaka has done, is to extend what was initially created and make it bigger so it can benefit Liberia even more. And that's what we're talking about. It's to continue to build upon and make it better and bigger. This diagnostic center, one thing I love about the diagnostic center is this. Let our people have dignity in their own country. We don't have to go to India for medical treatment. Let's do it right in Liberia, train the professionals in Liberia. The younger kids, they're way smarter than we are. They are better. We just have to train them better to come to the country, get paid properly, so they can be able to take care of their own people. I want my nurse to be Gisi. That should go to no BC lecturing. If my nurse be a man and girl, that should be from Lofa County. That should be a bastard. I want to hear nothing from all of your more. That should be over to make sure they nurture you back to health, because in your own country you can laugh a little bit. That one pastor get call your fufu for you, bring it to you. So for when you're sick, God forbid. So we can improve Liberia. Big shout out to President Bouaka and his team. They play slowly up there. They're working aggressively. And pretty soon, it looks like it's going to be finished pretty soon. I can't wait for the dedication for this place, because it looks like it will be a new boost to Liberia. Not just diagnosing things, but will improve a lot of things. Yeah, don't leave me alone. But then listen to a video from some Liberian. You actually met the legislature. Tita Donzo, that true, yeah, mama. We're in our own country and make it a little bigger. Thank you, Tita. And said that you don't laugh at me for free. But let's listen to a Liberian. He was a little bit mad regarding what happened on the border and what the legislature did. Let's listen to him for yourself, then we'll talk about it.
Fellow Liberians, I want to use this medium to express my disappointment in our Liberia legislature. Those guys are honorable guys. Those guys was elected to serve us as Liberians. But unfortunately, at times, the way they behave is so annoying, I must admit. On yesterday, we noticed that the House of Representatives sent their sergeant of arms to go and bring the living body of Mr. Augustine Pegafwan. Because according to them, there have been too many times where he was summoned, but failed not to appear before them. And the drama went on. But here is it. Here is my disappointment. When we heard in the media, specifically the social media, that Guinean army has taken over our borders, where they travel through canoes, came to Liberia, crossed the Lofa Belt, and planted the flags, which means that that part of Lofa, it is for Guinea. That should be an emergency. To the extent where group of Liberians came up in numbers and they tried to resist them, where we expected the House of Legislature to call for an emergency section, but failed not to do so when we have something that has to do with the survivability of us as Liberians, where we expected you to call an emergency section, instructing the armed forces of Liberia to go there hurriedly and go and find out what is the outcome of it. But to the ultimate surprise, it was the executive, which is the president, that called for such an emergency meeting. It's unfortunate for us. I think it's about time that we Liberians, we shine our eyes and see who to elect. Those guys who we elect at the level of the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives, they are always disappointing to us. And hope that this message resonates with you guys.
Thank you so much. To the House of Representatives, listen to your people. I understand your pay is important, but none of your little dry to be, all of your little fat to be. One day we're not going to support anything. Yesterday I spoke about this because we had a lot of people on. We didn't go so in detail with it. And you can't only focus on yourself for one. For once, you're focused on the country. The representatives and senators of the Republic of Liberia, were they not aware of what happened in the country on the day before yesterday and today as well? That they could not call an emergency session to find out what's going on and speak to the defense ministry, see what's going on in Foya. Yesterday, I'll play a video here from not from Vice President Combs, but from the Speaker of the House, Richard Combs. Richard could not have called an emergency section to find out what's happening in Foya. Maybe their involvement could have hastened the process to get people to the border yesterday, or day before yesterday at least, to have done their job. Must it always be about them? Must it always be about the representative and what's in it for them? It got to always be about them. When will we say, you know what, wrong? You're that low to Liberia, and the focus should be entirely on Liberia for once. When are we going to do that? Every single time, it got to be about you guys. I'm not entirely mad at you guys today, but the problem I'm going to make here is, if we continue on this route where the focus is only on us and what we can get for ourselves, at any time, what we focus on is our salary and our benefit. Let's summon the finance minister. If you summon the finance minister, what benefit would it do to you? He comes, you guys talk a little bit, and then he leaves. What's it going to do for you? That one day we cannot entirely just focus on Liberia. I get it if you call your session before, but when an emergency happens, you cut that session down and say, you know what, we're going to focus on what's happening in the country right now. Let's focus on Liberia for once. And I think this is where the focus should be. It shouldn't just be about waiting inside for me. Representatives and senators, if our sovereignty is breached, you're not going to hold that position you're holding. When they walk in, everything chakla. If the Guinean decide to encroach on our property and Liberian go there, and there's something stupid that starts there, you're not going to be in that legislature. So we got to put the country first in some fashion. Now, I'm not saying you guys are not putting the country first, but what you did yesterday and did before yesterday was not called for. And I agree with the brother entirely. You can just sit there and say, I will call my personal session and do nothing about it. All I want is for me to be able to get my money and my benefit, and the benefit are the only thing you focus on. I think you got a lot more to do than just to focus on that benefit. Cole, welcome to the show. I got an additional $100 for you. You're muted.
Additional money for the academy. So I don't know if you got a chance to show the video. I just sent it to you.
Okay, thank you. While be talking, let me upload it.
Yeah, so I want to give a big thank you to all the viewers that supported with their resources. the cleaning of Daniel Bashir Warner's grave. It was a massive success. The young people showed up, cleaned the grave, laid wreath, and then surprisingly, a small delegation from the Ministry of Education was driving by, saw them, and said, "Hey, I think they were on their way to a different event and decided to stop by and lay a wreath also at President Warner's grave." So that was very nice. I have that video too. The young people recorded them. One of the assistant ministers, I think Kona, if I remember his name correctly, with other people. But so we raised more than we needed to clean the grave. So the other resources will go to pay the young people's transportation to class on Saturday. So I want to again thanks everyone that supported with the resources, also just moral support that encouraged, that didn't have the extra to give. Everybody, we really appreciate it. Dwalo, if you have, let me know when you have the video. You can just
I have the video, but I want to say big shout out to Martha Harding. She sent $100, and big shout out to you and everybody else.
Thank you so much.
You don't your father out 10 now. You can still send it. If you send it, I will always forward it to Cole. I'll let them know. It go a long way and towards elevating the leadership.
Yes, we appreciate all the donations.
I have the video here. Let me put it up. We have no copyrights to the song being played. Under any circumstance, no copyrights to the song.
You own copyrights to the song. The song is not copywritten. It's in public domain. I created a song, so play it all you want. Nobody can claim that song with me.
Liberia. Be informed. Be ethical. Serve your country. A nation is not built by spectators. It is built by citizens. Citizens who understand that freedom carries responsibility, that liberty demands character, and that a republic survives only when its people choose duty over comfort. So today we remember the examples that came before us. Preserve the land for Africa like King Peter, who understood that land is not merely soil. It is inheritance, it is sovereignty, it is the future of generations yet unborn. Be informed. Be informed. Be informed. Innovative like Daniel Bashir Warner, a son of recaptured Africans, born in Baltimore, Maryland, who came to Liberia at 9 years old. A boy who worked with the crew boys on ships, learning the craft of shipbuilding with his own hands. When the world tried to choke Liberia with a trade embargo, when powerful nations attempted to isolate the young republic, Daniel Warner did not surrender. He built ships so Liberia could trade, so Liberia could stand, so Liberia could breathe. And this same man, this builder, this thinker, this patriot, wrote the words of Liberia's national anthem and composed the music. A genius, a nation builder, call to unity.
Thank you so much, Cole. I want to ask you a question before you come in. The bench that was under that tree, it's not there any longer. Little boys made some heavy-duty benches in the country made out of metal.
Yeah.
Can I put it back? I want to put it back. I mean, just for the heck of it.
Look, the man's gravesite, they buried this man in a garden. They buried him and they planted a garden with benches. There were 2 benches from the accounts that people could sit and read and contemplate. Because what Warner did for Liberia when the whole world went against Liberia. It was literally Liberia against the world. There was a massive trade embargo. They said if Warner took office, right at the dawn of European formalized colonialism in Africa.
Correct.
So Liberia stood as an affront to colonialism. They wanted to crush Liberia. So they said, if these little hard-headed little Negroes will not do what we want, we won't trade with them.
Yeah.
So there was, as far as I know, this is the first example of an economic trade embargo in history, where the entire world puts a global trade embargo against this little country, says, we will not buy any of their goods, we will not carry any of our ships to their harbors, since they don't want to yield to the pressures of global imperialism. It was Daniel Bashiel Warner that said, we will build our own ships. We'll carry our own goods. He reverse engineered ships. And he was able to build his first vessel, which he called the Experiment. And then he built 2 more ships. These are not canoes or boats. These were ocean-going ships that could go all the way to Lagos, trade all the way up and down the coast, Takrady and all the ports, Cape Coast, along the coast, coming all the way to Monrovia, and then to Liverpool and back. So all along the West Liverpool and back, 3 ships. Other Liberians in the time, the McGill brothers, for example, also had ships. And of course, you have a president who would later become President Edward James Roy, had the Eusebia Roy, which was the first ship to carry the Liberian flag all the way to New York. So these guys, when nobody would bring ships to the coast to carry their goods to trade or to also bring goods that they needed, they did it themselves. They did it themselves. And this was such, I mean, this is before Firestone. We'll talk about Firestone next week because, again, this is the 100th anniversary of the rubber contract with Firestone, but this year. But at that time, you talk about self-determination, you talk about iron will, you talk about strength, self-determination. They felt that everything they were doing for Africa. They didn't even think about themselves and their own safety. That kind of courage. There was nothing else. It's like, what did we have? Nothing else to lose. They put their lives and they're all on the line for African self-determination. They felt it was a duty. And so these are the stories. The young people in the academy read firsthand accounts. They read their own words. They read their own speeches from the presidents of the past. They study their own words and their own aspirations and dreams and hopes for us. These people had dreams and hopes for us. They worked for posterity. And that was one of the most inspiring things that I experienced, Dwalu, when I started to study these primary sources as a young person. When I was at university, I was so moved that people would sacrifice themselves for future generations so that we would have a country. And this is why it's so personal to some of us who have actually studied this country and understand what Liberia was and what it means to the world. It's so personal because we know that this country is an inheritance of ours.
Yeah.
It's our inheritance. People fought for us to inherit this country. And they said it. They wrote it down for posterity, for their legacy to remember who they were. So as much as they want to distort the history, they didn't destroy it. It's still there. It might be buried in a shallow grave. I always say our history is buried in a shallow grave, but it is there. It is not erased, and we can resurrect it. We can dig it up and share it and read Daniel B. Warner's words. And as the song said, he was a genius, a multi-genius, a man who could engineer ships, a man who could compose a national anthem. Not only the words, but the music itself was composed by him. You know, it's one thing to write lyrics, it's another thing to compose music.
I mean, it was well-rounded. Very well-rounded.
Yeah, one of the most beautiful national anthems in the world, if not, in my opinion, the most beautiful. You know, think about how that rhythm hits and how it carries you up on the highs and brings you down to the lows when you listen to our national anthem. It's brilliant composition. It's up there with Bach and Beethoven.
Yeah.
It really is.
And we've never studied it.
And so we need to understand who we are. You know, it's not a mimicry of the British, you know, national anthem or something. Ours is organic and created with our own local homegrown genius, and it's powerful.
Thank you so much. And I don't know who to reach out to. We can put that bench by. We can make it maybe 1 or 2 benches that can just go directly under that tree. I don't know. There's a Liberia agency responsible for that. We'll fund it. Let it put a bench by. Let people be able to sit there and reflect.
I would say Ambassador Onanuga in the Tourism Authority, and then of course Monrovia City Corporation. But I would love to see Warner's grave restored to what it was.
Yeah,
Let's plant those flowering shrubs again, like Dwalu said, those benches, and restore it and make it be like a little museum for his memory.
Park. Yeah, you can stop by and keep it clean. In fact, even go as far as keep it clean. That may force it on the city corporation once in a while if it costs for
plant some grass. Plant some grass and have it look like it did when it was in its heyday.
I think we should take upon it to restore it. I think it'll be a great thing. Our B sister Jemima Wolokoli said she loved this song, so I'm going to play it one more time.
Okay.
Listen, welcome, Jemima Wolokoli. Let's listen to the song one more time. It's a beautiful. Big shout out to the young people that did this job.
Yes.
Thank you plenty. You did an excellent job. Let's hear it one more time.
I love me get out. Hey, Liberia. Oh. Hey. Be informed. Be ethical. Serve your country. A nation is not built by spectators. It is built by citizens. Citizens who understand that freedom carries responsibility, that liberty demands character, and that a republic survives only when its people choose duty over comfort. So today we remember the examples that came before us. Preserve the land for Africa like King Peter, who understood that land is not merely soil. It is inheritance, it is sovereignty, it is the future of generations yet unborn. Be informed. Be informed. Be informed. Innovative like Daniel Bashir Warner, a son of recaptured Africans, born in Baltimore, Maryland, who came to Liberia at 9 years old. A boy who worked with the crew boys on ships, learning the craft of shipbuilding with his own hands. When the world tried to choke Liberia with a trade embargo, when powerful nations attempted to isolate the young republic, Daniel Warner did not surrender. He built ships so Liberia could trade, so Liberia could stand, so Liberia could breathe. And this same man, this builder, this thinker, this patriot, wrote the words of Liberia's national anthem and composed the music. A genius, a nation builder, call to unity.
Yes, Grace, I agree with you. We'll make it, if they give us the permission, we'll try to make it concrete and not metal. I understand where you're coming from. Because we'll make it metal and the border will take it from there. But I want you to
take it like they took the last one.
Make it, they have these concrete pillows so you can, even if it's like a C shape or whatever to make it, people can stop by.
Or it could even be made, it could be made out of wood and we can treat the wood so that it's classy and it looks nice. Because what we forget is that you can treat wood and it can last even in the tropics, right? Yeah. So let's use modern technology. I can't stand all the concrete we're using like brick.
But even you can make it pop concrete and pop metal where the metal is into the concrete. And then make it a little bigger, look a little pretty. But I want you to comment on this though. A nation is not built by spectators, but by citizens. Well, what's the message you're trying to put out there?
So the idea that government is something that happens to us and not something that we drive, I think is one of the things that's lost. Today, a good friend of mine who's in a position of power said something, and it's something he said, these people think that I'm seeing all these Facebook commentators and they think that, they know how to govern better than we do. And I said, but they are the government. This is a democracy. And even when they're talking nonsense, listen to them and pick the sense out of the nonsense they're talking, because this is a citizen-driven republic.
That's right.
And so, yes, some of our people are willfully ignorant, and a lot of things we say are wrong as citizens. We don't know everything, but we know a lot of things. And collectively, we are responsible to drive the national policy. You cannot ignore the voice of citizens in a democracy, even if you think they don't know what they're talking about.
That's right.
You must still listen to them. And like I said, you pick, like it's an African-American saying that I love, pick sense out of nonsense. Even when you think somebody doesn't make any sense, listen to them. Listen to them for the things they're saying that do make sense. And that is what it means to be driven for citizens. Liberia is not, citizens are the ones who are required to determine the path of the country. A country cannot have self-determination without the citizens driving the governance sector. Citizens elect their officials, not to elect them and walk away and let them be on their own. You elect them, you empower them, then you advise them and guide them on how you want them to proceed. That is the whole point of this. So it's not about, oh, they gave me rice or they paid my school fees, so I turned my back and walked away. I only go to them when it's time to beg. No, they're supposed to consult with you on policy issues. You're supposed to tell them how you want them to vote. You're supposed to tell them how you want the country to go.
Yep.
One of the things, Dwalu, that is very important that I want to talk about is even the Dual Citizenship Act. Not act, but the referendum, the Dual Citizenship referendum, where citizens did not pass it in the referendum. It takes 2/3 of the population to change the Constitution, or the voters, not the population, 2/3 of the voters to change the Constitution. So what happened? We didn't reach 2/3 to change the Dual Citizenship Act. So therefore it should have been left alone. But our lawmakers forced it through. So the people who elected them said, hey, we don't want it. There's not enough of us to make the decision. Then the people they elected overrode their decision and pushed it anyway. This was wrong. This was very wrong, and it was an affront to our democracy. It was a disrespect to our citizens. Even if you think they're wrong, that is their power. That is their power. So they should have allowed the citizens to reject the referendum. You don't know better than the citizens. You yourself are a citizen, and you've been empowered by those citizens. You've come from among them to represent them, not to represent yourself, not to represent former presidents, not to represent the American government, not to represent the interests of your donors, but to represent what the people who empowered you want. And even if you don't like what they want, if you don't like it, resign, let them elect someone else to represent them. But what you cannot do is override the will of the people and flaunt it in their faces. So some of the reason that our citizens keep getting disrespected this way is because they're not informed. They don't know what their rights are. So the song that you were playing, it keeps saying over again, be informed. I took that from the founders of the Republic, specifically Hillary Teague. He said the first duty of a citizen is to be informed.
That's right.
He didn't say the first duty of a citizen is to be patriotic. He didn't say the first duty of a citizen is to be informed. What do I understand that to mean? You got to understand your Constitution. You must understand your rights. Also, you must understand your responsibilities and your own self-duties to your country, right? As we say in Liberia, your own self-responsibility, you must understand it. And you cannot, he didn't say you must have a degree. He didn't say you have to go to Liberia College. He didn't say you must speak English, like the Queen of England or the King of England. He said be informed. And so what does that mean? For you, Dwalu, who are an informed citizen, it is your responsibility, it's your bounden duty to inform your fellow citizens. Because information is power. Knowledge is power. Our power comes from our understanding, our wisdom. And right now what I see is a bunch of very educated people in Liberia who are running around with other people's knowledge, with other people's perspectives, with other people's points of views. With points of views that contradict their very existence. And they are the proud torchbearers for the narratives of their enemies. And they will come to you and argue with you against their own interests because they think that's what education is to regurgitate what the enemies of Liberia have trained them to think about themselves and about their country. So information is first having a Liberian-centered perspective. Every country in the world must be centered in itself before it can collaborate with others. Before you can reach across and collaborate, you must be somebody first. Jana Edwalu.
Now Bill Carson, but let me say this to you, Cole.
What Bill said, the first duty of our law, Bill, I'm not repeating that thing. Go ahead, Edwalu.
And citizens supposed to drive everything. Look, I'm gonna go back to the legislators. They themselves are obligated to be informed. Like in most developed countries, Cole represents Nima County. She comes to Monrovia. When she's going to make a massive decision, she will go back to her people, lay on the lap. They have a discussion about it, and she will vote in the direction that her people told her to vote. Countering the people's will it's almost like putting slappy in the faces without consideration. Now, the first duty of a citizen is to be informed. That information is not an option, because here's the thing, guys. If you're not informed, it doesn't matter what you're doing. In most cases, you will do the wrong thing. And that wrong thing is going to harm you eventually. Sometimes when I sit on the network, that I'll tell you that our brightest minds, people who've burned the midnight candle, people who were in the position to govern us, must lead us. I am not saying we should ostracize anybody. What I'm saying is, if we take our best and brightest minds to govern the country, the probability of the country going in the wrong direction is smaller. By comparison, when you compare the last 6 years, for example, to what is happening now. So that preparation is not there. The person is not only they're not informed, they are going to endanger future generation. Yeah. And that endangerment, this is one of the things you see happening in our country for years, where people will sign a concession without fully understanding the deep impact of that concession 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, even so now 5 years down the road, because they're not informed without fully understanding. So sending somebody to the legislature, it's not a small task. In fact, I for one believe that the legislature is way more important than places. In fact, the people you send to the legislature, they should be almost smaller than the president. Yeah. They should say, President, no, we can't do that one there. Because we got 103 men and women in that place. No, based on what we have learned, what we know, Mr. President, this is the wrong direction of the country. We're going to push it this way. No Supreme Court, you cannot rule in that fashion. We're going to readjust the law. This is the direction. That's why they exist. They must be smarter. They must be vigorously.
Yeah.
How are you going to be informed if you're not reading? When you say these things, somebody say, oh, Dwalo is jealous, Kowu is jealous because they can't eat 3 times a day and the senator doesn't get car, they don't get car. When we do that, we're making it seem to run the government. President Bwaka said this. We are running the government here. We are running this government for the next generation. That's how the leader thinks. We're not running it for the next election. So the decision that he's going to make, they're going to be way 30, 40, 50 years down the road. So citizens, you have to get informed. This is not something that you can do hip-hop. You have to be informed. You have to put in time to read. You have to put in time to do everything you have to do. But Kowu, before I go back to you, before I be considered a bad person, I won't spoil your name too, because I said my piece. I got a 1-minute video I want to play, and I want to hear your take on this video, because I don't want the women that will kill me. I said it here before, but I wanted for you to be here. So thank God you're here. Let me play actually 30 seconds.
I don't have a celebrity crush in Liberia.
Why?
Who the celebrity in Liberia from the crush on? Liberia get celebrity. Liberia get celebrity. That hint to Martin. I get celebrity crush.
Oh, people come for you.
They come for me. Liberia do not have a celebrity. I'm be able to fall in love with me when I get money, because I'm not lie. I will cheat on you. Or I will not respect you. Even if I don't cheat on you, I will not respect you.
So for God, I don't have money at all.
At all. No. Go on those days. Oh. Always do better days.
Better days. I don't too, all right?
Explode. Nothing like.
How was you making sense?
So I always, when I was growing up, I used to hear the phrase "man business," and I was very literal. They're making business out of men. Men are business. Where did people come for the phrase "man business"? So, on a serious note, I don't think that the foundation of families, right, which is the relationship between a man and a woman, which is the foundation of a family, should be based strictly on economics, right? And because what ends up happening is that the men who have resources end up having numerous relationships with women that are not really committed, right? And so women end up just being in these circles with other women for financial reasons. And it's not healthy for society to function that way. It doesn't really, it's not unique to impoverished countries, but it's worse in impoverished countries, because in countries where people have jobs, where women can be employed and be able to take care of themselves, or most men have jobs and can take care of themselves and their families, that doesn't happen as much.
Correct.
Right? Women will then look for things like good character in a man. They'll look for, like I did. I wanted a decent person to build a family with. I wasn't looking for the richest man. I was looking for the person who was kind, who had a good mind and understood, the world, a thinking person. And so I would hope that for everyone, that you are able to find a match or a relationship with someone who you respect because of who they are, not because of what they have. And I don't, as a very conservative person, and when I say conservative, I'm not talking about in the American context, but in the African context, right? I think that, this is a dangerous trend, and it's not only in Liberia, but it's what a lot of young people are falling prey to, which is the worship of money and material things. So this is a very beautiful young girl,
Yep.
and she's talking the language of her generation. And it is a destructive and counterproductive mindset. It's a dangerous mindset. And I really hope that all those people who are responsible for mentoring the next generation do something, to change that mindset.
I couldn't agree with you more, because for me, that mindset will destroy the family. One of the only thing that bothers me about, and hopefully she watches this and changes, is that we won't be able to build the family and the community we need to build the nation. The issue of money, I know people I understand people got to survive, don't get me wrong, but it cannot be for sale.
Yeah.
You have to build with somebody. I know people don't understand the young girls in Liberia. Millionaire, the Nigerian movie is not real. No millionaire will just see you sell in color. The millionaire gonna pick on you and make you your wife. That is a fantasy. That's not how it can work. The millionaire will come around you, but I want us to stop this thing, because I've seen too many on social media where these young girls will make these comments and say, well, if the man got money, I would just go ahead and cheat on you. You will destroy your life eventually. Nobody will take you serious. We have to adjust these things. Harris, if you're in the back there, I know we came a little late. You can come on board. Let's talk a little bit. I know Infoya called you, and I hear in the beginning. Infoya, the not the army, but the PSU's band over there is going on a rap mostly, but one Liberian was shot from across the river. He's in the hospital. They have taken him to Vonjima to make sure he's orderly. And additionally, most of our grave sites in Liberia have been broken. Well, you know what's been happening with the Zogos in the graveyards. They're breaking in and they're living there. And Decoration Day, it doesn't look good. I don't know which agency is responsible for this. And before I bring Harris on, I'll play the last video call. I want you to comment on it. You may not know entirely, but you know Liberia enough to understand. We used to get a beautiful country. Listen to these people.
What happened in Liberia?
Liberia was a haven at that time. You could get everything under the sun. When we got to Liberia in 1981, they lacked nothing. So people from Ghana, would come to Liberia to shop. Now we are going to the US and Dubai and all those places. Ghanaians used to travel to Liberia to buy everything, And it was like Liberia was the place to be, not Ghana. And then we stayed there for 4 years.
One of my favorite countries in Africa, Liberia. In the 70s, Africans from around the continent would make their vacation like they do in Dubai, in the south of France, in Switzerland, in Monaco. Africans would make Liberia their vacation spot. The country was so beautiful, so lovely. They called it Liberia after the word liberty, and they called it the capital Monrovia on July the 26th, 1847. For the next 150 years, Liberia was the most peaceful, most prosperous, most developed country in Africa. Remember back then when I worked as a flight attendant for Pan Am? Liberia, there was something special about that. It's an incredible journey. Very few people will ever get a chance to get the front row seat that I got to history unfolding.
He talks about Liberia in such beautiful tune. I want to let you finish it, Carl.
So I say this on the show all the time, that there's always this propaganda thing. One of the greatest tools of warfare when people want to destroy something is to bury its history.
Yeah.
It's not hard when you repeat a lie over and over again for a whole generation to erase memories in people. And not only that, but then we had a horrible, traumatic coup, and then a traumatic war. Even the presidency of Samuel Doe was violent and traumatic, right? You had, killings and all kinds of stuff. You had massacres even before the war. Then the war came, and that was scorched earth. Everybody was traumatized. We all lost people. Yeah. Nobody won the war. And it has left an impression on us. That coupled with the anti-Liberia propaganda that nothing was here. We did nothing, because it was repeated over and over and over again. Partly to justify the coup, right? So you have the coup, you have to tell everybody that the coup is justified because all the people here were bad people. I mean, I've had Liberians tell me that nobody could go to school in Liberia if you were native. And I'm saying, in your own family, is that true in your own family? Because I'm as native as they get. My parents went to school. Ganta Methodist was open in the 1930s in my place. So what are you talking? And I go back and I look at CWA and I see the Boyus and the Masaquays and all the different people that were in CWA in the 1950s and 60s. And I'm saying to myself, what are they talking about? I see the lies and propaganda, Dwalu, are so powerful. They're so powerful that people start to believe lies over their own, what they see in front of their face. And the young people that I work with, they come into the Leadership Academy believing the worst things about themselves and their countries. Their country. And it creates in the population an inferiority complex. That's right. When a person has an inferiority complex, they're not able to strive towards their God-given right to self-determination because they have been broken in a spiritual way, in an emotional way, in an intellectual way, that they can't even stand up to do something for themselves because they have been told repeatedly, you are nothing, you come from nothing. And we get our identity from our history as human beings.
That's right.
This is why all of the countries in the world lead with their history, because they want their citizens to be proud of who they are. It's because it's out of that pride that the citizens will strive to do better. But in Liberia, we have crushed our triumphant past and replaced it with a bogus narrative that doesn't even stand up to any kind of scrutiny if you really think about it intellectually. But that is what we roll with. And that is why we have people in Liberia that can stand up in front of our legislature and say, our country is racist, the Constitution is racist, because even that generation was miseducated about Liberia. Because nobody that knows what happened in that country and why that clause is there would ever stand up and fight it. So when you see these people talking about Liberia, a guy from Kenya, a woman from Ghana, if you hear people that come from even Sierra Leone next door, so many Sierra Leoneans and others flooded to Liberia for opportunity before their country got independence. Many Liberians are the product of marriages between immigrant Africans and indigenous Liberians because everybody wanted to come. When other African countries were, leaders in other African countries were being persecuted, people like Miriam Makeba and others had to come to Liberia. We gave them passports. We gave them dignity. African Americans who were exiled came to Liberia. The late, great Nina Simone. People came to Liberia so that they could have freedom and self-determination. Just like you were talking about Qatar, it was Mo Ali talking about Qatar the other day. Liberia was Africa's Qatar. Liberia was Africa's Dubai, as the man from Kenya said. And we can do it again. We just have to believe in ourselves. All of our glory was replaced with tribalism, with nonsense, with Congo country narrative, with all kinds of things. And we have to take back the minds and the hearts of our young people and tell them the truth. Tell them the truth about who they are so they can understand their duty and their responsibility to themselves and their own futures. So I mean,
Thank you so much, Cole. And I couldn't agree with you more. We have to tell our children about their country, that we didn't just come from nowhere. We've always been a great people. And how do we restore that so Liberians can fully understand that we come from a great people? And like you said, your identity is entirely in your history. So knowing our history and knowing ourselves is something that we must understand. I think I just found a quick video of Simone here, and she was being interviewed about staying in Liberia.
So you traveled to Liberia, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
And that was apparently the happiest time in your life.
It was.
Why?
I was at home. And you remember that Liberia had a liaison with America. So it was known as a place for blacks whom they could not contain. And they were all rich. I lived on the beach. I had house servants. And the president's daughter gave me a house on the beach. I stayed on the beach every damn day. It was fantastic.
And she was not unique in this case. A lot of African Americans made the transition to
I
Liberia.
love about Nina Simone. Sorry to interrupt all. The thing I love about Nina Simone, she was so blunt. Now we look back and we talk about, some of these artists, they were a little bit touched, right? They were not they were a little bit off, but the woman was too blunt. She said they were all rich and lived on the beach.
Yep. It was a place for blacks they couldn't contain. So she was blonde. She said, I live on the beach. And she probably had the best time of her life.
They were all rich. The truth of the matter is, that's the kind of thing that infuriated
the
establishment, the global establishment. I also want to mention that Gerald Bartlett, who is a filmmaker, Liberian-born filmmaker, has done a lot of powerful documentaries. He just completed the assassination of William R. Talbert Jr. documentary, which I helped him where I was privileged to help him do some research for, but he has a great list of producers and participants, Dr. Elwood Dunn and many, many others. But I wanted to say that movie will be shown in Monrovia in April. So if you're in Liberia, keep your eyes and ears open for the location. It's going to be April 2nd, but I'm not sure of the location yet. I think they'll announce it when they come up with a venue. But if you have an opportunity to go see it, please do. Please do. Because exactly what Dwalu just showed is captured very well in that documentary. More importantly, what he reveals in the documentary is powerful about what actually happened, firsthand accounts. So please watch that. And then you'll understand what really happened to Liberia.
Thank you so much, Grace. I understand sometimes some people call it dry spell, but it's not a dry spell. We got to cover every angle of Liberia. You say boring, I say covering angles that is not. Who they may still corruption. I know the political thing can make us happy, but sometimes these are very important topics to get us back on track and know exactly who we are. We would not have known about Daniel Warner's grave and the history behind it, his genius to Liberia, what he's done to achieve some of the stuff he achieved in Liberia without having this quote-unquote boring section. I want to say, Harris, you can come back on screen. Let's take some calls from back home. I know today's a holiday in Liberia also too, great. So some of the guys are, having a little day off, and I figured I would still come on and just sit and talk with you guys, maybe hence the boringness. But Harris, let's take some calls from back home. I know people are listening across the country. Thank you so much for following us. And I want young women in the country, if you're listening, please call into the show regarding what that young woman said. I want you to carry yourself with tremendous dignity because we need you to build our community, to build our families, to build a lot of things to make Liberia strong. In the absence of our mothers, our sisters, Liberia will crumble. We can't hold it together. We need you to be a full woman for Liberia to do well. And this is extremely important. I'm not saying it to tickle anybody's fancy, but I'm being dead serious. This is why we need upright women that take the body to be their pride and joy, not something that is for sale. Harris, let's take some calls.
Okay, thanks so kindly for joining me from this end. We
We go to the phone lines and take your calls tonight. 0778 665 699. 080561644 0776293620 0776293620 080561644 are the numbers. We'll take your calls tonight and I'll read the numbers again. 0776293620 0776293620 or 080561644 0777002 and 0555002 are the numbers. And tonight, to be part of the conversation, we will take your calls 0880561644 or better still 0778 665 699 0776 293 620. This person is on. We will take it from this end. You like the name and where you called from tonight. Good evening. Let's hear you.
This is not what I would get thing. Say what you want to say, but in my mind, maybe people will say, "Oh, when you expect, what to say about Paul because Paul supposed to use." That's not the issue. But I think in my mind, with no apology, Paul is one of the best females in terms of the brightest minds that we can ever boast of in Liberia. I'm too proud that we can have such a Liberian female that's so great upstairs again on the top of our head. Once again, inadequate to express for the brilliance of the young lady. Look, do I do something? I want to bring something to the attention of the public tonight. I listened to one local radio station tonight where you were hearing some so-called panelists who claim to be associated with the CDC, trying to politicize the whole Guinea Liberia thing. And I don't think we should go this route for Liberia. When the politics comes, we play the politics. But if the country is on this kind of challenge, regardless of which political divide, which religious divide, or whatever background you come from, we must all unite. Right now in Ukraine, I don't think the considering opposition or ruling party, they all are working together to ensure that they stop what Russia is doing. The thing you're talking tonight on our local radio station, I want to talk from you people, God forbid, which we don't pray for. If anything, if this thing gets serious, the ruling party you want to become to come back, you think you will come back to power? What country you will govern? You will be fighting what will have election? What guy you can think in a country so? What wrong with you? What do you mean I can't think? So you think when this thing go the way that I want it to go, you think that Joe Parker or a UP will be there? There will be hell with break loose there. The only reason why tomorrow we contest the little development we're striving towards, the little progress we're making, all will be taught and show the country more backward, even though we're backward, but we're striving towards leading backward. You're not even thinking on it. But you're sitting there coming about a crack on your mouth. What kind of business is
okay?
As I conclude, I think in my mind, we have no reason to panic by the grace of God. It will be handled. I'm told the army are around there already alongside the PSU. So there's a joint security there. And I hope the army and the PSU are already there. And the citizens have been told to leave, to go back in the camp. And I think they're listening already. So camp is there. We know that it will be handled. But I am wicked weak. We're not happy. Thank you.
Thank you so very kindly. We'll leave you. This person is on. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. You're having a very Joseph, you called from Nema. You're having a very troubling network. I would appreciate if you can adjust. Just take a few steps and Yeah, okay, very good. Perfect. Let's hear you.
Good evening to Daru and my sister in law. Thank you for the show. Because of what the people of Tofa, the great popular district, the people, so for that, with that, they are anticipating. Because of the strength, you see that you have your army has strength, our army now have strength. You get country, our land. Liberian Guinea, which country have get their own independence first. You that get your independence in 1958. I won't get in 1847. So who have to demonstrate our boundary? But it is because we have to feel that Russia is on the other thing. Because of the American ally, so to claim the territories of America. So that one thing, the issue of the start people having special security in the other time, the son that grand take it to be like. But these are the things that are coming from Guinea, and some of them are from Guinea. So the national security has to judge these people to know them. They are in why they formed that security group to guard the security of flag community. Because what is happening today in Lofa, it may affect anywhere other part of the bordering country that share border with Guinea. Because this is a military leader in Guinea, Dumbuya. He is not a civilian. He get where is people among sheep, wolf among sheep. That's why he's doing it. So we the Liberians have to stand, and for country, this is not politics. We expect our lawmakers to act. Well, I think they are not representing the people, but they are only representing their benefit.
Okay.
But rather, we are sending him dedication to go to that or to other EFF or the Prime Minister to start on the neck of the border.
Thank you, Joseph Tamba. There from Nima. We'll take more of your concern. 0778665699. 080561644 0776 293 620 0776 293 620 are the numbers, and you'll be part of the conversation tonight. 0776 293 620. Bet us to 080561644 are the numbers. We take few of the concerns. This person is on leave, and thanks so kindly for joining us tonight. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you live. Let's hear you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My name is Prince, and I join you for Kakata in Alex and Nico. Let me say how's up to all the studio panelists to that for total discussion. But I want to let you know, let us remain kind, let us remain moderate. Under no condition can we take the advantage in other countries, state and local aid. We are from the marriage of parliament. So, everything humanly possible, they will do it to sit on the table and discuss it like the educated and mature people. Violence will not solve this problem. The fact that Guinea has little over 15 million human beings, that population. Guinea social population is close to our population and still to be corrected. Guinea has 3 main Guinea income. Guinea has weapons that we do not have. But it also gave them the right to override us. Countries that call us, countries that in our table we stand in our defense, but we're not working. But we're not praying for war. The soldiers will be employed not because Guinea did to just bring them with our soldiers to go open. before the soldiers take assignment or move, there must be a mandate. There must be an instruction. Not because people go and still go and still give this, give that. So we just send our soldier there before instruction. We all mandate and the food start teaching all the way. No, I strongly believe let the soldiers make crime. Let us be loyal about it. Let us take it with the mind fight. So that this thing.
Okay. Thank you. We'll leave you. This person is unbelieving. Thanks for joining us. We're doing great. Let's hear you. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I was listening to Spoon FM and Water Spoon. We're talking about Liberia losing their land. Then Water Spoon talking about quality. If those people eat their work for them and I go on the air to molest Liberia. We're talking blame issue. We're talking Liberia. Then he's talking about because you go for all you get money, your pocket, you go, you say things and you're supposed to say. Another thing, this Liberia I was listening to my sister and other people that were calling, explaining about Liberia those days. I think second corruption says warfare in second corruption. If people that he called, listen to him. In the case now, we say we speak on the India class. So because the weak people, we got so many so-called pastors, we got leaders we got people leadership that are not even saying to war, but it's really a thing clearly. We also got things in Nigeria. God will send us to our enemies if we don't recognize God in Nigeria. So we cannot say to God that people coming to Nigeria are easy things, but because we refuse to listen to God, so God will send us to our enemies until we can recognize God.
Okay, thanks so kindly for making your point. We'll take a few more calls. 0778 665 0805 61644 0776 293 620 0776 293 620 0805 61644 0778 665
Let's take one or two more calls. It seems like not a lot of projects, one or two more calls. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take at least a call or two. Then we will return to the panelists tonight. 0776 293 620. This person, oh my word, slipped off the line. 0776 293 620. 080561 644 0778 629. This person is on believing. Thanks for joining us. Hello. I don't know why I'm not getting you through. Let's hear you. Hello. Hello. I don't know, but your line is not coming through. I just don't know why I'm not hearing you. Hello. Well, it seems like you're not ready. We'll have to leave you from this end and speak with this person. Believing. Thanks for joining us. Believing. Let's hear you.
Yeah, and what my name is Benjamin Garari Laura, calling from Steven to our SD District Authority. So I would like to you think you is either that or you are. But the only thing I'll get is the little day stuff.
Okay, thank you. I didn't really get your point, but this person is unbelieving. Thanks for joining us. You can't call and hold this line. I mean, we won't accept that. Yeah, let's hear you. You lied. The name you called from where? From where? He's still holding this line. It's bad. 077 8665 699 0805 61 644. Or better to 0776 629 620. This person is on. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hello. Hello. Boy, what's happening? I don't know what is happening. This person is on. Good evening. You live. You live. Let's hear you. Hello. You live. Let's hear you. All right. What's happening with this line? I keep
Okay, I think I call it a night.
Let's speak of this last person before we call it this person. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Hello. What's happening? All of you calling and I want to talk tonight. You live. The name you called from where? Yeah, I think we're having issues with the phone line from this end. We'll have to call it a day.
Thank you so much, my brother. Call it your live and email where you calling from.
Hey, Eduardo, my name is Momo Tule, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
You're live.
So, Eduardo, first of all, let me full disclosure. I am a former member of the U.S. Armed Forces, specifically the U.S. Army.
Thank you.
So, look, yesterday, I tell you what it happened yesterday. What we saw on Facebook was so much something that so disheartening to me, and I was disappointed in the leadership of the entire national defense. Look, we cannot be a country and we don't have the ability to man our own borders, to have command and control over our own sovereignty.
Thank you.
This is unacceptable. And this speaks much to the leadership there. That is the entire national defense. I'm putting them on the on the limelight tonight. We cannot be reactive. We have to be proactive. The citizens, this is a generation of duty. Because if we have command and control over our sovereignty, the entire national defense should have known at first hand when those soldiers from Guinea attempted to cross over and come over to our country, and immediately action should have been taken in a matter of seconds or hours to deploy troops over there.
Exactly.
But for them to sit there for citizens to take action, citizens that they're supposed to be protected, they allow those citizens to put their life on the line. Do you know what it means for citizens to, without weapons, without the proper training, to go and face people who have the requisite training? When something needs to be done, the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, needs to call those people who he appointed in leadership to answer some serious questions.
Thank you.
This is a serious national security issue and it has to be addressed seriously.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Calling you live. Your name you're calling from?
Hello?
Yep, you're live.
Oh, thank you, Brother Eduardo. This is Jerry Jean Dobley from Springfield, Mass.
You
see what I was telling you guys yesterday when my man Mo Ali was speaking PB English? I don't call it Mo Ali, yeah. But brother, I get one key concern, my life concern how to deal with for every border we get in Liberia. I leave 1 or 2 persons there. When I'm immigration, when I'm talking to police. So I would want to know the person who were on duty that day when the thing happened. Because man, you Liberia, man, my man will let slow away. We see this regime, man, they don't allow us to see shit in the army, in different places. So that's my key concern. I would want to know who were on duty at that border that time when the thing happened. So all the border don't get open that way. Somebody's there. So I would want to know, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Caller, you're live and name you're calling from.
Thank you, Mr. Guaru. I'm Simon Brunel, calling from Seattle, Washington.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Mr. Dualu, my suggestion here is that the government should look at this, especially, what happened to Lofa. To be able to do something like all the countries that share border with those other countries, to be able to do something like Malaysia or something like that, where a young man to be recruited and standing, like what you call national guard here. And to have to even $50 per month for staffing, they will be able to give it to them and try to lecture them. I'm not talking about murder, training, but lecture them in case of anything. And they see people to be able to recruit them into the military.
Yeah.
Every year when we recruit, there's so many few military men to those places where we are lecturing the commandos in case for other reasons, like how you talk about in the battalion and things, they will find themselves in something that they will look at themselves and they will defend their country. And they should do that, especially the leaders, our senator and representative. If they can't cut the salary and be a supportive guy, they make sure anything happens crazy, they will go there and face it. Now, people are not stupid. The first time people went to the village, all the people we need this time, no village, they come and rescue them to the house. So they, if they will sit there and look at crazy that happening and they can't support it to be able to protect the Liberian people, they make sure they will go and protect the Liberian people.
Thank you.
That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller, you're live, and even where you calling for, we'll take this call and a couple more calls for the night. You're live, caller.
Well, thank you, Dwalu. My name is Michael Harris, and I call from St. Paul, Minnesota.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for your commitment, the both of you tonight, for your presentation as well. I want to specifically commend you people, you co for a specific reason. I want to hear for the passion you guys have for Liberia's betterment. Because I often hear you say you left Liberia at the age of 10. And I hear Kawu say she was born in the United States, she was schooled and raised in the United States. And the reason I'm saying that because I've been here for a few years. I know how people could detach themselves from their homeland once they come in the Western world. But if you were born and raised here in school and everything, but you still have that passion and stay involved with Liberia, this is something for me is worth commending. And you also you left Liberia at the age of 10 and you are still involved like this. I mean, this is just we just have to celebrate people like you and more of your kind who may not be visible as you are. So I just take this time to say thank you and salute you for your patriotism, your commitment to Liberia development. If we have more of you in the diaspora, Liberia will do better.
Thank you.
Having said that, there's border issues and things. Thank God that the government will see that there are some, they're trying to put the situation under control. But I would specifically be interested in ECOWAS's position on this, especially Liberia representative at the Liberia House of Senate. Because you always all over the place. I don't know whether he made an intervention, he made a statement. I'll be glad to go through that. If he made it, that's good. But if I'm not, I will still be interested to know what his position is on these particular issues. Because I remember a few months back, sometime last year, when there was some internal disagreement among the representatives over there who began to speak up, he went and manipulated his way through brought some colleagues from ECOWAS to make it look like to come and intervene in domestic political difference. So on issue of this kind of this concern, I want to see what his stand is, not just to look for issues that he think in his mind can give him political points. So I need to hear what he's going to say or what his position will be on this issue. Thank you. Like I said, I commend both of you for your commitment and patriotism to Liberia. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was the age of 12, not 10, but that's close enough. That's the final call for the night. That's the final call for the night. And I don't know if you'll send me the stuff calls so I can upload them. And y'all, thank you so much for making your calls. We appreciate it. I know the show is kind of slow today, but once in a while, it's a holiday in Liberia today, guys. So we try to make the best out of the holiday. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have all the guys here to make sure we bring a exciting show to you. But
I think the show was exciting, Dwalu.
Exactly. No, it was, but
one or two people that got problems. Most of the comments were positive and the callers were positive. While you're pulling that up, I just wanted to make a statement about the issue that's happening in the rainforest in Foya. So yeah. I think social media hypes things up and blows things out of proportion.
Yeah.
And I think that people are overreacting. The part of Liberia Guinea border is not in dispute, but I can see where the confusion is, because if you go about a quarter of a mile north of that crossing point where they were doing this land mining, the entire river is in Guinea. So it's right there that it enters Liberia, and then you've got the shoreline. I'm not making excuses for Guinean soldiers. They were absolutely wrong for putting boots on the ground, But our authorities, the president sent a delegation to Foya. They met with the Guinean authorities. They discussed this issue with the border, and they agreed to leave. It was at that time that our young people started jubilating and went and raised the flag. They did not chase soldiers off of our soil. They raised the flag to jubilate, to celebrate the fact that we had the negotiations and we prevailed. And so that's why there was no fighting or anything. The Guinean soldiers lowered their flag and left peacefully. What happened today did not involve Guinea's military. At the boundary of the border of Guinea and Liberia, we have a lot of continuous transnational ethnic groups. In this Foya area, you've got Kisi people in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea. Most people who speak the Kisi language live in Guinea. I think more than 70% of them.
Yep.
So we got a small pocket of Kisi people in Liberia, a small pocket in Sierra Leone. Now, this was a civilian issue. You've got some people who are unemployed in Guinea, young people, unemployed, less busy. They work in little artisanal mines. They come from all over Guinea. So most of them were, artisanal mining, kids that smoke viaze, as we call it in Liberia, and just not good characters. Decided that we humiliated their military, so they're going to go across the border because they're on social media. They see the Liberians jubilating. So, the people jubilating, they ran our soldiers out. So they came there to come wreak havoc. They crossed the border. Then our commissioner too, instead of him doing his job, he go Facebook Live. The people crossing into Guinea. Are you supposed to go to Facebook if something like that happening? You ain't get like chain of command. So some of this stuff is just a bunch of hype. When the young people crossed over, they came, one of them or a few of them had single barrel guns and they shot fire across the border. They should have been arrested.
Yeah.
Guinea's ambassador should have been summoned in Monrovia, saying your citizens can't be crossing our border with single barrel. I don't care how much keen juice they drank. I don't care how much viaza they smoke. This is unacceptable. And the next time it happens, that's what it is. And so you got these drunken, high, less busy people cross the border. And the place where I gave up Dualu, I said, it's not serious. It's serious. They're serious, but it's not that serious like how people making it look. When the Kisi chief in Guinea stood at a riverbank and spoke Kisi to the chief in Liberia, I just closed my phone. I said, we're not serious. You understand? So y'all please calm down.
Yeah. I said it the first day, and you mentioned something though. Guys, the river meanders like this from point to point. Sometimes an entire portion of the river will literally be in Guinea. It will not split. Then it will come back in Liberia. So this is quite normal. And I get it. I understand the soldiers should not have come over that.
They really thought, based on the negotiation, the people who were in the discussion, the Guineans really thought that they were that was Guinea. And it's not, I'm not making an excuse for them. Right. You got to remember, Guinea soldiers are pretty much illiterate. They don't have the same criteria to join the military that we have in Liberia. In Liberia, you must be minimum high school graduate. A lot of our soldiers are university graduates. In Guinea, you just need to be able to hold gun and follow instructions. That's a fact. Yeah. So they're not as educated. That's not making excuse for them, but it's giving you the reason why these kind of stupid things happen.
Yeah.
Right? So once they understood that they were in the wrong, they folded their flag, they got in their wooden canoe and crossed back. And the silly thing is this river during the dry season is about 2 feet deep. You can just walk across. That's normal. Those of us from Ganta, we've been laughing because on the other side of the St. John River, there are more Mano people. So that the same thing can happen. The Mano people can stand, so you're talking to the Guinea soldier across, and they be speaking Mano back and forth. When it comes to that, we don't care about the French, we don't care about the English. That's how it is. These are our
anything they think it's a border. Even the people that don't have border, they don't even consider it a border in the truest sense of the word. They see it as my cousin.
Nobody need ECOWAS passport across there. Even today, Ganta, which is a busy crossing point, people come across and go to Ganta Methodist Hospital without one piece of paper, and they go home. So let's.
It is wrong. We agree 100%. Everybody agree with the sentiment. It was wrong for them to come over. Absolutely.
It was wrong. And listen, I want to repeat because we like to misunderstand each other. I'm not making excuses for the Guinean soldiers. I'm giving an explanation. There's a difference. Yeah. They are mostly illiterate, especially the border guys. Yeah. They send them out there. Most of them go to school. Most of them. I know this because I've interacted with the Guinea troops because I come from a border town. I was in Ghana for a very long time. Not saying all of them are illiterate, but those foot soldiers on the border, they're doing the best they can.
But when you see that, you know, Cole. I think I'm been talking. I got the video uploaded. You see that, you know. You got
that wicked man. You see that, you know.
I've never crossed into Guinea personally.
No, that's somebody I know the person illiterate to Alu.
I say you can tell. Look, I've found one Guinean soldier for you. Hold on. Be talking, I come here, I bring one Guinean soldier for you. Thursday, you don't know.
No, be talking, I be laughing. Let me tell you something. I'm not in 18 to Alu talking. I ain't seen me look at people and say they're illiterate.
Sorry.
I'm
bringing one Guinean soldier. I'm bringing one Guinean soldier. They did not play talking.
Criteria for their recruitment is different from the criteria for our own recruitment. Years ago, Liberia used to do the same thing, recruit anybody so long they go hold on and stand hunger. They will put it in the military. Now, thanks to Brownie Samukai and the Relief Administration, when she took over in 2006, they made sure they created a professional military in Liberia. So all the other thing I want to say, why are you pulling that up to Alu? This idea that Liberian military is weak and unprepared, they're not true. They're not true. Yes, we only have a military of 2,000, but there are 2,000 very highly trained soldiers. This is not an AFL from Child Sailor time. These guys are not only educated, they are well trained. They were trained by the United States military, and also the first general of our armed forces was a Nigerian general. All of the military in Liberia were skilled and trained. I worked with the Coast Guard when I worked for Maritime. The Coast Guard is extremely professional in Liberia compared to other African countries. So let's respect ourselves more and understand that we have gone through a transformation as a country.
Thank you, Cole. Let me play this small video of our Guinean soldier. Maybe perhaps you will understand what I mean.
Edward.
I talk my own. You think it's Edward? Why you want to baby? Hold on 1 second.
It will
wear by fire by food. It will wear ahead. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, go ahead. I give out.
I'm not crying, Bula. Let's play our team, President. No, to our Guinean brothers, let's keep the peace at the end of the day because it's not worth it. Those demarcations yesterday you show us, they're to the freaking degree. It is not no space here or there. Let that stuff stop. Let's make sure we have peace along the border. There should be no shooting going back and forth. And thank you for mentioning that. It was probably somebody shooting a single barrel. I don't think the Guinean soldier actually shot across because initially that's the news we got. But let me play a video call. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around. Let's play this video so we get close.
In the history of this new Africa, which has just come into the world, Liberia has a preeminent place because she has been, for each of our people, the living proof that our liberty was possible. And nobody can ignore the fact that the star which marks the Liberian national emblem has been hanging for more than a century. The sole star that illuminated our night of dominated peoples. Ahmed Sékou Touré, from his Liberian Independence Day address of 26 July 1960, as quoted in Charles Morrow Wilson's Liberia, Black Africans in Microcosm, Harper and Row, 1971.
En effet, en mettant fin à la domination étrangère en septembre 1958, le peuple de Guinée avait placé son intime espoir en l'Organisation des Nations Unies. en nous reconnaissant et en nous accueillant comme membres des Nations Unies. Vous avez brisé le cercle d'isolement que nos ennemis, les ennemis de l'évolution africaine, tentaient de refermer autour de la jeune République de Guinée, afin de décourager définitivement toute velléité de libération sur le sol africain. Combien il est réconfortant pour les patriotes que nous sommes de constater qu'aux heures les plus décisives du destin de nos peuples, la solidarité et la fraternité internationale ne font jamais défaut.
So, Nico, your party statement.
So Sekou Touré was a friend of Liberia.
Yeah, he was.
And I want you to know that he was also the great-grandson of Amami Samori Touré, who fought the French and kept them at bay and created an empire called Wosolo. And Sekou Touré being a direct descendant of Samori Touré existed at the same time that Liberia existed, right? He was the last stance against colonialism. Liberia helped smuggle ammunition to Samori Touré when he was fighting the French. The French documented their accusations against Liberia, said Liberia was aiding and abetting Samori Touré's war against them, which was true. The reason I'm saying this is even before Guinea became a country, the original freedom fighter against the French, Samori Touré, who built an empire in resistance to the French and was able to manufacture guns in Guinea, but not the ammunition. Liberia smuggled ammunition to him so he could keep resistance against the French. Sekou Touré knew this. Sekou Touré, as his great-grandson, when he fought for independence, he relied on Liberia. And when he gained his independence, he remained a friend to Liberia his entire life. Guinea is our sister nation more than any other country in Africa because we share ethnic ties with Guineans. We share a powerful history with Guineans. And in fact, Guinea has taken many of our citizens. The French took much of our land and much of our human beings and took them under their colonial rule. So we lost territory and citizens to Guinea. So the very people that crossing the border in Foya used to be Liberians before. They're descendants of Liberians in every sense of the word. They were actually conquered and kidnapped and forcibly subdued by the French. So these are not our enemies. These are our family people. These are our cousins. And this is the relationship Liberia had with Guinea all this time. And I hope you really paid attention to the video. You have Tubman going to Guinea and being welcomed. And he went there so casually. He will go home. He didn't go there like he was going to some kind of foreign place. He went there like he was going to Nimba or he was going to Bong. You understand? So we share a brotherhood and a bond with these people. Don't be distracted by these things. I'm not saying we'll not protect our borders. By all means, we should. But this anger and hatred, I think, is a bit misplaced. Protect your borders, but also protect your mind from unnecessary rage baiting that's happening on the internet. Yesterday, that was Ghana, we were cussing, now we're cussing Guinea. Let's do better, right? Let's build Liberia. Let's unite. Let's focus inward, protect ourselves inward, love each other inward, build ourselves up. And I think this issue with the border in Foya is an awakening for us to, just be more serious about our border patrol, making sure that our boundaries are understood not only by us, but by our neighbors. But these are things that are usually handled amicably. It is not a need for war. Nobody has waged war on us. It is a stupid, stupid thing that the Guinean military did. And I think they're going to be handled, as they should be, those particular soldiers. I don't believe they were acting on any orders from anywhere above. They were just misguided and misunderstanding where their boundaries were. And we put them in their place. The incident today is just people in the villages trying to take things into their own hands. But as many of the callers have stated, our security apparatus is on it. We don't need to worry. Guineans are not the enemies of Liberians. The people who stole our territory were not Guineans, they were French. It's France who stole our territory. It's England who stole our territory. Long before those countries were independent, they inherited a colonial boundary that the criminals that occupied Africa drew and imposed on them. So don't think that it was Guineans that stole land from Liberia. No, Guinea itself was stolen from Liberia. That is the message. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, guys. We had a beautiful show here today. I will close the show with something that I began with today, and I will post it back on the screen. And I will continue to call on the Liberian armed forces, and even those guys that are making the budget every single day, to understand these little spiders. They are calling little birds. They cost as low as $200,000. If you want fully armed, maybe from $500,000 to $1.4 million. If you want machine guns on it, around $500,000, they can take up to 12 troops, literally anywhere in the Republic of Liberia in less than 3 hours. We can buy 5, maybe 10 of these to have them for the armed forces of Liberia for rapid response. You put 5 of these in the air, you can get an entire platoon anywhere in the country. That's between 60 to 100 men at any given time. These things are cheap, they're fast, and they can be used rapidly across the country. Like I said, they cost $500,000. If you want a cheaper version, you can buy it for $200,000. That's how cheap they are. They're very fast. They're massive troop transport. You can mount guns on these things. You can put Hellfire missiles on them, and the U.S. military uses them. You can get it for as high as $4 million if you want a real technical one. But these ones, they're pretty cheap. $500,000, $1 million, you can buy one of them. And I believe the Army should have some of these for rapid response across the country. We have to understand that security is a serious matter. I'll come to you in a second. It's a serious matter, and I'll put it up here. I actually looked up the price, everything. Like I said, they run between $200,000 to $700,000 for the little bird. Stripped down model, they still run. If you want weapons on them, they run from $500,000 to $1.5 million. If you want it fully loaded with Hellfire missile, between $800,000 to $3 million. That's what it costs. They can literally land anywhere, take anywhere from 10 to 12 troops, anywhere, very quickly. One of the reasons why the Civil War lasted so long is because we could not rapidly get troops to the locations that we needed to get them.
Yeah.
This is the 21st century. Yes, we may not have the massive budget like the big countries, but buying a $500,000 helicopter that can be used not just for military, but for various emergencies across the country, that's something I think we should look at.
You need to give national security advice. The other thing is, I want to add, not only for border patrol, but also for patrolling our forests.
Our forest. Thank you.
Because I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail because Tualu needs to go. He been on here all day. But the thing is, people are literally coming into our country on helicopters from Ivory Coast and neighboring countries, flying into Sapo, kidnapping rare animals, and then leaving with them. And then going on YouTube and bragging about it.
Yeah.
Literally. Poaching animals that are in our rainforest, that are in their natural habitat, that are rare and unique to Liberia. The pygmy hippopotamuses are being kidnapped from our country and sold on the black market because we're not able to patrol. So whoever is listening, listen to Dwalu. This is not only about our borders with our cousins, you know. And for
a $10 million allocation can do a lot. We can get some of these things. Like you said, in the Southeast, we got about 2 or 3 in the Southeast for rapid response. We post some in Central Liberia, some in Western Liberia, and maybe 2 or 3 in the capital. And we know we can be anywhere in less than 2-3 hours, anywhere in the country in less than 2-3 hours. It's a big deal. A lot of countries do this, but these little birds, they're very easy to maintain a whole year. If you're flying them, maybe $25,000 to maintain it for the whole year. They're cheap, but they can get to a man anywhere, anytime less than 3 hours in Liberia. And we have to look into it. Or you can get a better version if you think the better version is required. But I'm looking at the cost issue and the maintenance issue and how strong these machines are. I've actually flown on some of these, and they're very, very fast. They can go as high as 150, maybe 200 miles an hour. So you can get anywhere in Liberia very, very quickly. You don't worry about road. You don't worry about nothing. We have to understand we got to protect these borders, not just because of what happened, but for so many other reasons, you know. And I know you do this because you work in Liberia, where there's 2 people fighting in Grand Crew where you don't have no authority. So now you need days to get there. But with the helicopter, you can get there.
But I mean, even with land, when we worked for Land Commission, we had to take UN helicopters into certain places. Grand Crew is a great example. There were no roads.
Yeah.
Right. So they used to call it the Great Walking Grand Crew. There were no roads.
Everything can land anywhere. You gotta call a couple of trees down, will land anywhere. Yeah.
So the thing I want to re-emphasize before you close, Swallow, for everybody listening, calm the you know what down. Calm down. I know it were emotionally triggered. We all love our country. We all want to protect our sovereignty, but we shouldn't be in hysteria and panicking about things that are not, imagining imminent dangers that are not there. The Guineans did a stupid, disrespectful thing. That group of soldiers did a stupid, disrespectful thing. We handled it. Mm-hmm. The civilians got into a tussle today. It was handled. It is not something for us to act like the sky is falling. It is not falling, but it is a wake-up call for us to be more vigilant about our borders, and also for us to recognize the need for us to be more patriotic and respectful of each other within this great Republic of Liberia. So please stop looking for reasons to fuss and fight. Look for reasons to build and unite.
Thank you, Esiata Tembe. The national government has proposed to recruit on average 600 additional AFL soldiers annually, and that is already in the works. Yes, they are recruiting more Liberians, and I think we mentioned this on the show a couple of weeks back. So yes, 600 additional AFL soldiers every single year. We want more, but you have to make sure this is within the budget that you have. You can't. The most horrible thing you can do is to hire soldiers and not pay them, and that's not a good thing. You gotta get the money before you pay these boys, because they don't play too much. But to our people, man, thank you for spending the day with us here today. And Kou, I'm gonna sell it or I'm gonna cash out it.
Zell's good.
That's good.
Well, thank you, Plenty, for supporting the Leadership Academy and the project today, Daniel Bashir Warner's grave. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you guys for always being here to support what is happening for your country. You remember what Cole said today, and I wrote it down. Actually, I don't want to forget. The development of a society is not for spectators, and development encapsulates so many things, right? So you think about name anything that will improve the society. Citizens must get involved, and I mean, all of us got to put our hand there so Liberia can grow. One person can do it. And citizenship development of Liberia is not a spectator sport. It requires the involvement of every single one of us. Yes. Every single one of us. For those of you who give $20, $30, you've done something to elevate the country. Guess what? Because of what you've done, now we are thinking about putting benches in our park or turn it into a proper park.
Exactly.
That's progression. So that's what we're talking about. Let's get involved for Liberia. I'll reach out to Honorable Nanuga and see if we can facilitate this process. Whatever we can raise here, we'll raise it. We fix the place. We'll create a city park. Maybe I can be more real. One day I get tired. I will sit down there. I dream of cooking water on that tree. Maybe read a book. You never know. That would be pretty cool. Thank you so much, Cole. Have a great day.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liberia developing. This is the Class Reloaded. The #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JNB and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and NJKK, they're making the way. The class reloaded, we shining today. Hey, 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 hey. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The class reloaded, always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The class reloaded,
Truth, truth,
Liberia rising,
progress,
JMB and JKK.
develop, develop.
The rescue mission, we move soon.
The class reloaded.
Truth,